Folks, Bob Mannery here, and you're listening to Agree to Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Tis the season. Let's go. Agree to disagree. A2D Radio, live from the Real Talk Studios. and now this Sunday, and starting every Sunday throughout football season. We are brought to you by a new sponsor, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. All right, that's where you can find them on Facebook, the site, everywhere. They're located Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. We'll have Paul on, Dr. Paul Vidal. We'll have him on around the 10:15 area. Going to talk a little Carson injury with us, so we'll get into all that in a little bit. But Tom Arnone, Nick Delgazzo, Greg Mwakovic, Robbie Pove on the ones and twos, and the family out there joining us. This is season like we just spoke about. It's coming Thursday, right around the corner, 4 days / 3.5 days. It's right there. It's there. About 5 questions with Robbie at the end of the show. Phillies talk. Doug Peterson isn't happy with the media. He made that clear today, and I stand by my coach on that one because he's 100%, maybe even 110% correct. We'll have a little Wentz-Foles conversation throughout the show. NFL season predictions if we have time. YouTube sucks. So let's just be real. YouTube, I'm not a fan of YouTube right now. So if we have time, NFL season predictions. Eagles-Falcons preview is the main conversation at hand tonight. Our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports.
Is it possible to have one ear?
Yeah, it's very possible. Yeah. Tonight, absolutely. Tonight, our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. Who you got on Thursday Night Football? It's a simple one. Eagles, Falcons. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find us. Actually, screw YouTube. You can go over there. We're over there. It's great, but F them right now. Tomorrow, they might be cool. Right now, not cool.
Just drive by and egg them.
So, there's so much to talk about. You know, Joe Walker released today, which was interesting.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was cut today, not part of the 53-man, which is interesting that we're cutting linebackers, bringing other linebackers in.
Is there
really
another
weird.
guy named Walker? I thought I seen him on the 53 when I was watching.
He might have been, and then cut.
When I was watching Doug's thing.
I don't know if Doug knows now. Maybe that's why Doug's mad. Doug doesn't know what's going on. Maybe that's why he's pissed off. But listen, we want your comments, concerns, questions, whatever you got leading into Thursday night. We want to know.
Yeah.
Okay? Real simple. So our poll question, who you got Thursday Night Football? Eagles, Falcons. We'll dissect it a little bit. We'll talk about how we match up against them, our strengths, weaknesses, vice versa on both sides of the football. So who you got? Starting with you, Greg. Why Sweeps gets a little
tune-up.
Little, fill up with the oil, fresh oil.
I'm good. I'm going to go Falcons. I'm going to go Falcons week 1 just simply because Nick Foles is playing. I don't think Nick is the quarterback that – I don't think he's as great as that 3-game run that he had at the end of the year that brought us the glory. And, I think he's more in line with what we've seen the rest of his career been. So I'm just going to go Falcons just week 1 just because of Nick.
Man, you're that on that. You really that low on him.
I always was. I sat here all last year and picked against them all playoffs because of Nick Foles.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's nothing different.
I get that, but big games, he showed he can play well. Obviously, and I don't. This is a warm weather football game.
Yeah. These
aren't the conditions that really go against Nick when you talk about the cold weather game, stuff like that. I mean, it's conducive to throw the football in. Did he struggle in the preseason? Absolutely, but we can't have it both ways. We can't sit here and say. I'm not Mr. Nick Foles or crown him, but we can't sit here and say preseason doesn't matter because it doesn't essentially, and then forget what just happened. Not even that long ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't believe,
we can't forget that this team as a whole went on a run.
I still pinch myself that he did it.
No, but
because that's the guy.
No, I understand that.
I think Nick Foles is exactly what we saw in the preseason.
But I think it's deeper than Nick Foles. I think that's where you're dropping the ball, and I think that's where a lot of families going to drop the ball tonight because it was bigger than Nick Foles last year. It was bigger as you had a full roster of guys that bought in. Well, a lot of them same guys, for the majority. It is. He probably never turned them back on. This is the night we're having. But listen, it is a new calendar year, as Sweep said. All right, new calendar year, fine. But the same guys are still part of this roster, and to me, that matters when you're talking about going into the next year and the year after that. Like that matters to have the core here. Now, can you get away with Nick Foles for 16 games? No, I don't think so. I really don't believe in it. But can I get away with him for a game, 2 games, 3 games? I think I can because I look deeper into this Foles. This defense is loaded. So that's where I'm hanging my hat on to start the season off, that I believe the defense can go get you. Obviously 8 different guys, like we call it a front 8 like we did last year, and that front 8 got better. It's hard to get better when you got to the quarterback as much as they did. They got better. Our secondary, better. The only, our linebackers, if Jordan's healthy, are better, obviously. I mean, it's a big if, but if Jordan stays healthy, our linebackers are better. Now, week 1, no Nigel, but you have Jordan in the lineup. I mean, that's a huge help, in my opinion. So it's not a big drop off to me. Sweeps, who you going with? Game 1, Eagles, Falcons.
Listen, everything Greg said, I kind of teeter to. Not for this particular game, just overall. That's how I felt about him forever. You know what I mean? I think everybody, and I'm not a Jeff Fisher guy, but I feel like he got too much heat for what happened last year, and then say, how people say, like, not to bring him in, it has nothing to do with this conversation, but, that, like, quarterbacks go there and die. Well, he had Steve McNair. Steve McNair was pretty good. You understand?
Pretty good.
And I understand he's special, but, like, this dude had a chance to go there, keys to the castle, fell flat on his face in 2 other places. Now, he got hot at the right time. He's a system guy. Credit to Dougie, what Dougie did last year and game plan for him, and RPOs went back to look at the old footage when he was 27-2. All right, and that worked for that little run, 2.5 games. You know what I'm saying? Because really, the Falcons, that was all defense. Right? That's all defense and a non-pick right before half. Butterfingers right through the guy. All right, that sets up a huge streak right there. So this isn't a woulda, coulda, shoulda game. All right, I mean, we're not going to get into that. But that was a defensive football game. Defense won that Falcon game. So 2.5. But he absolutely adored the Vikings, and he was the guy that won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Don't get no beans about it. You know what I mean? A defensive play was made to hoist the Lombardi, but that dude did everything for the Eagles. On the biggest stage, right?
Listen.
So don't take anything away from him. This is a new year. I got, not to get sidetracked, I got them winning because of the banner and opening night, and they're at the link, and that defense should put their ears back, and it should be a close scoring game. But I have no faith in 9. I mean, I never did. You know what I mean? I tip my cap to them, and when guys do good, that's what I do. I go like this. Tip of the cap to you. You know what I mean? That's it, buddy.
How are you?
You know what I mean? But
I'm not here to crown him.
No, I know.
I'm far from here to crown him. I'm.
But can he do enough? Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, can he stretch the field with his arm? Absolutely. He's not Carson. He's not going to be Carson. Anybody out there? I know people out there said, "Oh, he deserved to start for what he did last year." Absolutely not. It's not a participation trophy league. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you won a Super Bowl. You're as a backup, right? You don't steal the guy's job after that. Other guys have won Super Bowls that aren't really good quarterbacks. Now, I'm not saying he's not a good one. I think he's okay. I've always felt like that about Nick, that he's okay. There's times that when he's stepping up in the pocket and finishing his throws, I think he's a good quarterback. When he fades away from throws or tries to get a little Brett Favre-ish at times, that's when he struggles, right? And you see it. You saw it after the 27-2. You saw when struggling Nick Foles came around. Everything was off the back foot. There wasn't any drive into his throw, and then you saw why the struggles, right? Because then balls float on you, balls sail high on you, which equals a lot of interceptions in this league. So, but I'm not going to sit here and say, he's going to come out and throw 4 touchdowns and be lights out. I just believe a lot in this defense. I believe a lot in the head coach, and the head coach who's already pissed off right now at the media. I think they're going to use that as some energy, because this team, to me, looks for reasons. You know what I mean? To be doubted or to get going. So I don't know. And I like the fact that Doug, is giving the media shit. I do. That this was leaked. That this was leaked out. That Foles was their starter. Where he said, "I'm trying to win a football game."
I was going to ask you guys about that anyway. Before I think Robbie Brinks had posed that earlier to the group, but I was going to ask that anyway. Just get your guys' opinion. How do you feel like? Winning a Super Bowl, he's got that swag now about him, or he's just super annoyed because he feels like he's answering the same questions. Whatever it is, he did feel like he had an edge to him, and I'm okay with that. But you do have a job to do, all right? You don't have to be like you didn't. Even though, like I said, he did great, and he's been in this league a long time, so he's earned his stripes. But you haven't won 5 Super Bowls. You don't have it like that. You know what I mean? Where I don't like fucking Saban's act. I think Saban's act is fucking tired to me. You understand? But he's got enough trophies. When you win, people will ignore that you're a piece of shit. Hence why Urban Meyer still has a job everywhere he goes. You know what I mean? Like, at Florida, abomination. They won, all right, but 31 arrests. You can deep dive into what he did there. And Saban, he's pretty much squeaky clean so far. Nobody's found anything, but he wins. But he's a fucking dick. You know what I mean? Like, but is that his edge, or is that who he is? I don't know. So I don't mind what Doug does. I just, you think it's just, because he won and, he came in, it was his first job and he was on eggshells and stuff like that. And
well,
now he feels
I would use he won as an excuse, but this hasn't been going on all offseason. This hasn't been going on in preseason. Today hasn't been the way he's treated the media. But when something gets leaked out on who your starter is going to be, he has every right to verbally abuse everybody sitting there that wants him to answer questions now. Because now when he gives you access, you become a snake and a rat. Right? And rats.
But that's their job.
No. But his job is to win football games.
Sure.
So hold on. Get that. Don't you defend the media. Don't you defend the crumb media in this city because they all want to act they all want to sit around and act like they're not fans. And we're not fans of the team. We're not fans of the team. You all grew up here. Half of them. A lot of them have.
Sure.
Okay, so don't give the persona that you're not a fan of the team. You just cover them. That act's tiresome to me. Okay?
It's the act of being the first to report something. So even if you are a fan, there's certain guys that have crumb-like characteristics that say, listen, I don't really care about that. I just want to be the first to break this. Yeah. You know what I mean? So and they feel like they either have a boss leaning on them to do it or whatever it is, whatever they feel is they're justified to do it, but not you don't have to agree with it or not. It is what it is.
Yeah, I just don't think to me
it's no big deal. We're talking about a couple. If the Falcons were, I understand it is. That's that kind of sport. It's an X's and O's sport. I get it. All right, but there's nobody hiding behind. There isn't a third guy hiding behind the fucking door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's either fucking one or the other. It ain't suds. All right, so obviously they know they're gonna game plan for Nicky, and they're gonna know they're gonna game plan for 11. I mean, they're gonna sprinkle it in.
Yeah, but when you have to make
because unless he's inactive, you could actually use him for a couple plays.
Right.
Right. So I mean, the Falcons aren't going to get caught. They shouldn't get caught with their pants around their ankles. You know what I mean? Like they should know, even if he's named the starter. 11's still there holding the clipboard, and can whatever he goes down with, whether 9 gets knocked down.
But the job's a lot harder though when you have to game plan and you don't know who's starting. That job is a lot harder. To me, it's a lot harder.
But Eddie, you look around the league. I mean, you know who's starting this game.
Okay, but you didn't.
You know what I mean?
You didn't.
Yeah, I think you did.
No, because I don't think you fully did, though, because there was people out there that talked about how Carson's progressed and how good Carson's looked, and there's a chance he'll be ready for week 1. So I don't think you could sit there and say that, well, everybody knew who was starting this week, because did we? I mean, we sat here on Wednesday night, and dudes were throwing 100% out. 100%. Okay? 2 dudes on the couch, okay? I gave it 75, and
I gave a million just because of how coy Doug was.
And the whole fam all over the chats were 100% in that Carson was starting. So I don't think you can sit there and say, well, the Falcons knew who they were game planning for.
But I think from the Falcons' standpoint, they probably knew 75% we're going Nick.
And that's fine, but you still have to. But you still have to do homework on the other guy. And there's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so much film you can study, right, in a day. So when you have to now add on to the amount of film that they got to look at and go over, you're making their job a little bit harder.
Well,
disagree.
And for him to say, hey, I'm trying.
They just played the one guy less than 7 months ago. Right, so really, they just got to do. They would have to do a little more work on 11.
They had to catch that ball.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I know, but I'm saying if they wanted to, they got enough film on. They got enough film on 9. You know what I mean? They played them. 4 quarters, right? So, the game plan for 11 is, especially this is game 1 after a monster injury, you can expect that he's not scooting around all over the place, even if he was to play, right? But that would be the one thing that you would do if he wasn't hurt, to say, hey, we got to make sure we keep an eye on fucking 11 all the time. When he gets outside, he makes plays. He's a playmaker, all this stuff. What I mean? So that's the one difference, glaring difference right there.
Yeah.
But they just played the one guy 7 months ago, so I mean that's not doesn't mean that they're coming here and throwing a shutout.
We could have a conversation about the media and the league all we want. My point is I don't have an issue with him being snippy and being real and saying, hey, I'm trying to win a football game here.
I don't have an issue
and
either.
You guys aren't helping me, so I'm not going to help you.
But on the flip side, they got to do their job too.
Okay, and he can do his job by being an asshole.
100%.
Because you're sitting there waiting for him to tell you stuff so you can go, so your job can get easy and you can go write an easy clickbait article. Because when it's Eagles, everybody's going to click on it. We know that in this city. So now he's going to make your job easy? I would do the same thing. I'll give you one of these and say, you know what? You want to make my job tough when I'm trying to win football games because the honeymoon's over. And I like this out of him today because the walk down broad, that happened already. Okay? Because nobody game 1's going to say, well, Doug won a Super Bowl. It's okay. All right? Nobody in this city is going to do it. People have talked about it. Something goes bad at Lincoln Financial Field on Thursday night. If something does go bad at any point, you don't think there's booze coming?
100%.
So it's his job to get his guys ready to go for week 1 and say and the rest is over with. So when he's trying to decoy and do little things of cat and mouse, which Bill does all the time too in New England, he's doing his job as a head coach.
Sure.
That not only help Nicky out if he does start, which he is, right? But help his football team out. So for guys that sit there and say, well, you can't group all us together. Well, you're a fraternity when you talk about the media, right? They're a fraternity when it fits their narrative, but now you can't get lumped together because somebody didn't want to keep their mouth shut because somebody needed that was so important to them. They couldn't have wrote that Wednesday because they're going to find out Wednesday you couldn't have wrote the same thing Wednesday.
I would never defend them anyway because I think unless there's a guy, like if you can find me a guy that asks the tough questions and the questions that are supposed to be asked, and then he's also doing his job, then I got respect for that guy. But most of these guys, they want such access. They never want to get barred from the locker room, so they're going to tiptoe around things, and then you're going to pepper a guy with fucking questions about who's your quarterback, is he going to play, what's he, so of course that drives them fucking crazy. And from a strategic point, everything I told you when I sent you that text on Wednesday, that everything's hush-hush, man.
Yeah, he said,
even with me, he
even said, we'll know inside the facility Friday, but that's it. We're going to know who's starting inside of here on Friday. He didn't come out and tell the media, hey, we're going to know everybody's going to know on Friday who's starting, right? Because that would be an ego guy to me. That would be the complete opposite of what I saw. Like if we're going to say, it's a big ego, that kind of look, because a big ego guy would come out and be like, Nick's our guy week 1. Let's go. And that's how he started his presser.
Right.
Instead of worrying about all 53 guys and trying to win a game and say, hey, we're going to know inside the building because we have to, because we got to prepare for week 1, but nobody else is going to know until probably Wednesday. And that's fair. And that's fair. Now, somebody wanted the story. I get all that, but I'm not going to pat a media member on the back and say congratulations to anything of that kind of shit because I'm trying to win a football game too, right? Because unlike the media in this city, I'm a fucking fan.
And like you said,
first and foremost.
I think the longer he does it, he'll learn how to do those things. You know what I mean? Belichick's been around forever. When he does it, he has dick qualities, but a lot of the times he says no comment. No comment. That'll drive them crazy because then they got nothing. When you come back and you either act like a dick or you're acting surly, you're acting surly with them. Yeah, you're acting surly. Now they got something else to write instead of when Bill goes, no comment.
They're just like, all right, just same old Bill.
Playing, no comment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How's Moss feeling? No comment.
No, you're right.
Anything like that. So he can learn. He doesn't have to be like that dude. I'm just saying, he'll learn how to, the longer he does it, he'll deal with it.
I think what shocked
a lot of
coordinator,
people you've never had to deal with it.
To that point, I think that shocked a lot of people is just how it happened. Because he's been, he's been so open, he's been so cordial in the past. I think what finally got him is answering the same damn question over and over again.
I've seen it for a couple weeks, so I don't know why people were surprised today.
That's the only question anyone cares about.
I've seen it for a couple
weeks. In reality,
James chimed in earlier. James Wilder, he went with Falcons.
I
believe Park went with Falcons too. I lost some of the comments. Chris Booher, yes, he will. Amazing progress. I don't know what that was about, but James said I want to put the loss on Foles. I think it'll be a close game, but the Eagles don't get it done. Chris was saying key to the game, in my opinion, is if the Atlanta O-line can handle the Philly loaded D-line, and I don't think they can. Philip Slomes, Eagles for life until the day I die, period. Super Bowl champs are repeating. Love it. Pop Martinez, what up, fellas? What up, Pop?
Good point. I think today.
Bobby Hartman, what up, fellas? What up, Bobby?
I'm just flying through. I think it's one on. I think both lines have to display their physicality. This is a physical football game, and the team that either blinks last or or is soft, is too soft at the right time, is going to be the loser.
This is a not to take too much into the preseason, but the O-line got beat up by Cleveland. Yeah. And Cleveland is a legit defensive lineman. With Garrett out there, with some of those mooses that they have. And they look bad. Now, how much is that just going through their paces? You know what I mean? Because
there's so many times I've seen O-lines in the history of the Eagles be lights out in the preseason.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
And
you just never know. That's why I hate the preseason football.
And like you said, I'm not buying too much into it.
Because I just don't know I don't know what to believe when I watch it, right? I mean, is that fair?
Which
we all agree?
Which then ties into the point is what the hell is the point of preseason then?
We hate it. But my point last Sunday was about that very thing. That very topic is, once again, you're talking about a manhood position. That's a manhood position. So, even if you're not showing them anything, or you're not doubling guys, or you're not trapping, or whatever, you're not
pulling a guard here.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you're going missionary and everything, you still are trying to win a one-on-one battle where a guy's trying to take your lunch. And to me, I don't give a fuck if it's June or it's it's August or it's January.
That's why they do the Oklahoma drills too.
Yeah.
In practice.
Yeah.
It's like it's one-on-one. Who's got the bigger sack? Who's got the bigger thing?
Well, I think Peters being back in will help this offensive line out drastically.
Did V get cut?
No, I don't think so.
I
have the roster up again, but
I
I
don't
doubt
think
highly
there's any
doubt.
surprises. And when Bradham comes back and Jeffrey, they're gonna have to make some moves. And then I thought Walker made it.
No, he got released for whatever. But just want to tell the family we got Paul Vidal, Dr. Paul Vidal, will be joining us in a few minutes here. He'll be talking about the Carson injury. We'll talk about some preseason, shortening it, some other things. We'll have him on every Sunday throughout the football season, and hopefully he'll continue right in the baseball season, and we'll get some basketball talk with him as well when injuries happen with the Sixers or around the league or big injuries, and especially when it comes to Eagles. Hopefully we don't have to do what we did last year, injury talk, but any injury that comes up, Dr. Paul, he'll be on here to talk with us every Sunday, either before or after the games to discuss guys if they're going to be ready to go. Everything. He'll tell you more about what he does over there at Specialized Physical Therapy LLC. I got to get the new read down, babe. I'm so used to the Gibson Mayer. You know what I mean? It's muscle memory. I started the show. We had a million issues going on, and now I'm like, oh, what's the sponsor? And see how the dog got a little slower. Usually dogs like this when he gets got. You know what I mean? Usually the open's like, whoa. You know what I mean? I'm like a dog on a hardwood floor. Let's go. I'm jazzed up.
I'm going to kill Instagram here for a second just because I'm expecting a call. But Robbie in the corner chimed in. So excited for NFL football season to start.
Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more.
Sir.
Robbie D says, I hope the doctor can clear Carson. Philip Sloan says, Doug is ready to repeat as Super Bowl champs. Yes. Hell yeah. Bobby Hartman, what up, fellas? What up, Bob?
What up, Bob?
Curly, you're right, Greg. It's the media's job to report who the starter is. Doug is acting like a douche. Curl, worry about your own house, babe. You're trading your
Curly. We know I'm right.
Trading your best. You're trading your best. You traded your best player yesterday. Okay, so worry about your own house. And your own house is moving to Vegas, so you don't even know what your house is. All right, you don't even got a house. You're houseless.
Vegas?
You're homeless.
Vegas.
I mean, I'm in the go, but
Vegas?
You're
RV?
moving.
You got an
YouTube.
RV?
Can we get the RV?
What up, YouTube? Absolutely. YouTube, TTP. He doesn't think Foles is going to make enough plays. Falcons Fury was talking about it's not that he's a Falcons fan. Not that their offense line's bad. He's like the Eagles defense line is just loaded.
Yeah.
And they make us look bad. So he's right. They're not bad. They're not a bad defensive line at all. Yeah, you can answer it. We'll have Dr. wait for us for a minute, and we'll get him fired up in 1 second here. I just want to get through some of these comments. Falcons Fury chiming in. Kyle saying, Cleveland sucks, which is what we already know. TTP balling. He owes nothing to anybody, period, when he's talking about Doug Peterson, right? Sweeps. Yeah. That man brought us Super Bowl. It's time we start trusting him rather than bashing him for getting pissed at repetitive, manipulative questions. And I think that's so well said, TTP, because it's right. Because think about with anything. If somebody asks you the same thing every day for a while, there's going to be a tipping point, right, where you're shut your mouth. I had enough. Don't ask me this question anymore. I can't with you guys. We got it locked in a safe somewhere. We got a vault where we got both names hidden, and we ain't opening that vault until Thursday morning for the family, for the people. Why can't we be okay with that? Isn't our end goal to continue to win football games, right, as a whole? So for anybody that's out there going to defend this media and say, oh, Doug's getting a little snobby, like Rob Brinkman, I love Robbie, right? But you're wrong, okay? He's not getting snobby or snippy. He's trying to win games. Is this what he's hired to do? Because I judge everybody off wins and losses and everything. I don't judge you off a presser, because if we judge guys off pressers, you would probably grade Gabe Kapler like an A+++ because he says big words.
Yeah,
he says big words.
We knew that was coming.
But I mean, how many times?
You understand? You can't.
I know, but I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, how many times is there an injury where it affects it? It's not that the percentages are very low. You know what I mean? Most of the time, if 11 is upright, he's playing all 16 games, and it's not. Then the game plan. Then it's about executing the game plan, not smoking mirrors and hiding behind a cardboard cutout. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't matter. So it's just whoever's going to, whoever go out there and execute on Thursday.
No, and that's
but
true.
I understand. I mean, he can do whatever he wants.
I'm just backing my guy.
No,
backing my guy. Backed him from day one against the jabroni to my right, and I'm going to continue to back him against the jabroni to my right. Okay? And Rob Brinkman, who I love on the Sports Hounds every Monday night right here at A2D Radio, 8 p.m. So listen, love to announce our new sponsor here at A2D, and our new sponsor for Agree to Disagree, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, right, located Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. Dr. Paul, what's going on? Welcome to Agree Disagree.
Hey guys, thanks for having me, man.
What's up, Paul? How are you, Doc?
Yo, what's up?
You just wanted to say Doc.
Yeah.
He wanted to. He just wanted to give you a Doc.
I got nothing else to bring to the conversation, Doc. So.
So they ask you about Carson, and you hear a lot of reports here and there, and you hear a lot of different doctors talk about, the full 12 months, the full year to recover from that injury. Just from you being an outsider to it and just watching them like everybody else is, but obviously a lot more experience than us. What do you see? Do you see a guy who looks like he's ready to go, or do you see a guy that's still a little iffy with the knee?
I'm going to pull a Bill Belichick and say no comment.
Yeah.
Well played.
Guys, listen, I love it.
Listen, I see Carson on TV, and, he's looking good, man. I mean, he's moving, I think, like how he should at this point. He's made awesome progress, as you guys know, and the reports show. But, I mean, on average, it's that 9 to 12 month thing that everyone keeps hearing about. And I think that's true. I remember a couple years ago, Adrian Peterson, right? He came back real quick, but I think that was such a freak type of development. I think with Carson Wentz, it's probably going to be, he's only 8 months now, so, he's still before that window of time to come back.
Hey, Paul, this is Greg. Is there a level with this injury? Is there a level of just getting through pain as opposed to making it worse if you say you come back early?
Yeah. I think there's like the tissue, like the knee in itself needs to kind of get stressed, in a healthy way. And that's part of the process, and I think there's some discomfort that's going to come along with that. And that's kind of normal. So just because he feels discomfort, I don't think we should, worry too much, but because I think that's just all part of what we call loading. You heard of Joel Embiid and load management and stuff like that. I think it's all part of the loading process. And I think, again, he's 8.5 weeks, months, and he just still needs more time. And I think, in my opinion, it's not only his ACL, but he also tore his LCL of the left knee. So, his stability of his knee was definitely compromised when he got injured back in December.
Now, with so many of these injuries coming throughout the league and so many of them non-contact, is there anything that the players or the league can do itself, whether it's cutting down the preseason, eliminating it altogether, or just the individual players themselves? Is there a way to fix them, especially since some of them are just non-contact?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. That whole preseason, do we even have it, or, or how many games should we have? I'm not sure if there's a right answer there, but there are some research out there on how to reduce the risk of injury, especially with ACLs, working hip strength and core strength, things like that. But sometimes, these things just happen no matter how, what great shape you are, especially if there's contact. And I know contact thing, I guess that's different, but, I think in preseason and your conditioning and get yourself in shape, no doubt is going to help you. The stronger you are, I guess the better you would be.
So we talk about it being, a 10 to 12 month comeback on this type of injury, and Carson only being at 8 months right now. So, Paul, what would you suggest, for the Eagles? Do they let him, come back week 8, week 4, sooner than that, week 2? What would you suggest, from a doctor's standpoint on how cautious they should be with this? Being that most injuries this injury comes from a lot of non-contact, unlike Carson, where he got hit and then the injury happened. A lot of times it's non-contact.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to tell you, just from a fan standpoint, here's our franchise quarterback, right? This guy's a stud. He did awesome last year up to that point. Heck, he even played, one or two plays after he got injured, I think. I forget. Yeah. But, as a fan and then knowing what I know as a healthcare provider, I think being a bit more cautious here and giving him a couple more weeks is definitely in the team's best interest and in Carson Wentz's best interest. May not be a popular opinion with some fans that want to see him back on, but again, it's still early in the game, and the tissue itself, we have to respect the tissue healing too. He might be feeling great and looking great, but just from a cellular standpoint or at a tissue level, things still need to heal. And he still needs to increase his loading and get that tissue used to accepting stress.
When he comes back, we talking like a knee sleeve or one of those bulky ass braces? What do you think, Doc? Depends.
Yeah, he's gonna probably. I mean, in my opinion, he's probably gonna wear some type of knee brace. A sleeve won't do it.
Gotcha.
The brace is gonna help him. It's not gonna prevent a re-injury, but it's definitely gonna provide him some extra support. It's gonna give him stability. It's also gonna give him that confidence a little bit more that he can move around in the pocket or out of the pocket. And feel like the knee's gonna, do what it needs to do.
Gotcha.
Paul, so I got a great question from one of the listeners, Bob Hartman. He says, "How much is mental, and how much is just trusting the knee again?"
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think we have clinical tests that we use, or I know the Eagles will be using it that would give the player as well as the coaching staff, the medical staff, a sense of where Carson's at. And that in itself would give him some degree of confidence, or give them some degree of confidence of where he's at. But, ultimately you can do all the drills you want, but until you get into the game situation, you don't know. So, but I think, you do everything you can to prepare yourself to get that confident. And then, I think a big mental hurdle is when you can start accepting contact and you can get back up and keep going.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like that first hit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that first hit's so important, or the first time somebody rolls into your leg a little bit, after a throw, or just any of that kind of stuff. I think that's the most important thing. Just completing your first pass. As simple as that. It's just getting out there and getting the cobwebs out and just believing in your knee again. Especially, and I don't know if this matters much, Paul, but Beans, it's his plant leg. It's his land leg. Does that matter a little bit more than being his back leg? Just because of everybody falling around his knee and everybody falling around your legs in the pocket, just as a trust thing for him?
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to you guys earlier, and, we're talking about, throwing off your back leg and, how that ball will sail on you and things like that. I mean, I think that's a great point. If he can't trust it to follow through, and put the weight and transfer his weight into the left knee, I mean, I don't think that's going to bode well for him in terms of accuracy and completing the plays he needs to complete.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If you can't step into it and let it rip, it's going to sail on you, and it definitely take your accuracy, and that's what he's an accurate. It's one of his strong points.
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
So that's huge. That's huge for him.
Well, would you hate to see this injury create an issue with confidence? It's not even for a week or two down the line.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Because even if everything's good structurally, then it just becomes it's still a strength issue, right? I mean, even if everything comes back and it passes with flying colors, it's still a strength thing, or is that something he's been going through this whole time? This getting it stronger.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm sure the medical staff and the therapists there, that's what he's been focusing on to get him to this point.
Yep.
And that's, Carson certainly doesn't lack confidence yet. He's got it. I mean, he's, if you told him, hey, I'm assuming if he said, hey, you're ready to go, man, he'd do it. He wants to be out there. So I don't think he lacks confidence. I just think it's going to be bolstered when he can finally get out there, move around the pocket, make that first completion, get hit onto the ground the first time and get back up. And then, he'll be closer to, 100%, I guess, from a mental standpoint.
The $1 million question. Sorry, Tom.
No, go ahead.
If you were the owner, what do you do? What do you do, Doc? When do you when would you rip and let 11 check himself into the game?
That's a great one.
If I was the owner, man, I'd have the money first.
Yeah.
We'll just call you Paul Laurie. Paul Laurie, for the sake of argument.
Yeah, man. If I was the owner and I know the investment I made in this guy for the long term, I mean, what's the worst? I mean, heck, what's the worst that could happen if we wait 3 weeks? So you go 0-3, right? Which I don't think is going to happen. But I mean, you got how many more games left after that? So I'd probably push it closer. I would like to see it closer, probably to the 3-4 more weeks into the season, give him more time to heal, because that's my investment, and he's our franchise. So that's where I would go with it.
Yeah, unlike what happened down in Washington, when you talk about the Redskins and RG3, and I hate the comparison, but the one comparison I'll make to it is that in Washington they lost in the playoffs. Okay, so there was the rush to get RG3 back with this team that just made the playoffs, and a lot of excitement, and it was rushed a little bit. And you can see the confidence slowly get worse and worse and worse with them. When you're not many teams can say, "Well, we're coming off a Super Bowl win," and especially for a city that's never had one before. I think that's why I know it's tough for us to be patient here in Philadelphia. But I said it after the Super Bowl. Why not just let them come back around November? Yeah. We trusted in all these players last year, and they went and got the job done. Why don't we trust in him a little bit more? And I know he's.
But then you see those videos out there of him running around. You're
know,
okay.
It's tough. It's so tough because he looks good. But
when the schedule comes out, like they should be circling the Tennessee game if they had any doubts, because even if you play terrible, you should be 2-1 by accident. Right? I mean, the next two, even if you stub your toe on Thursday, it's Cupcake Central. It should be. And we know it's the NFL and stuff like that, but they should beat up the Bucs and should beat up the Colts.
So a couple
without him.
Yeah, that's the other thing, guys. What about the division they're in? You guys are better at this than I am in this sense, but like the Eastern Division, wherever division that is, you can go 500 and you'll still be all right, right? at least up to November. Who's going to beat them out?
Yeah, I agree with you. If you play 500 football until he gets back, and then it's your start of your run.
And if he's the guy that we think and we know he is, then we should have no problem making those games up.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's bigger than this year. I think it's a 10. You got to look 10 years down the road too.
I don't think the first conference game is still the Giants, right? That might be week 6 or something.
Yeah. So you have time. These are some great questions. Mike Parker says, "Could you clear him for us, Doc?" Thanks. Deion Brown says he wants to ask about Timmy Jernigan's recovery. Now I don't know a lot about.
I forget the exact injury.
Yeah, I forget Timmy's. Wow.
It was a back issue?
Yeah, something in his back. I don't know it offhand. And, Paul, I don't know if you know Timmy Jernigan's injury offhand.
No, I do not. Yeah.
It's all right. Well, he's going to be out for a little bit. So, Deion, we know that much. We know he's going to be out for a little bit. And I think everybody has the same sentiments. You're talking about the guy. They all – I think everybody's buying in, that at least the comments I'm reading off, the letting it relaxing a little bit, in the words of Aaron Rodgers, and letting him get fully healthy.
So, Paul, another question here for you. Is there a reason why it seems to have happened more in the NFL versus college? Is it just a newsworthy type of item, or is the collegiate level doing something different to prevent against it, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know if there's data on that, to be honest with you. I haven't read that if the incidence of ACL tearing is more in the NFL than collegiate football or even high school football for that matter. I don't know if I could comment on that either way, man, because I'm not sure if there's data on that, unless that was someone's opinion or that was recently put out there.
Yeah, I was just going by just look. Obviously you hear about it more with that news coverage of what the NFL is versus collegiate, but it just seems that way. So yeah, you're probably right. There's probably no data out there.
And with the new rules, I think you're going to see more of them. Unfortunately, as you saw Marquise Lee from the Jaguars get hurt because you can't go up top, you're going to go low. And
now you got to go low.
Yeah,
they're trying to avoid CTE, but they're going to end up in your office more, Paul.
Oh man, I hope not. But if we can help them, great.
Yeah. So Paul Jernigan's was he suffered a herniated disc in his back, and that was during off-season workouts, and they said he'll miss 4 to 6 months. So that would miss at least the first 6 weeks of the season. So I think he's right about where he's supposed to be, honestly.
Yeah, herniated disc, those are tough ones. If that was what they call like an acute, the disc kind of blew out, so to speak, and he's got pain down his leg and he's got weakness and stuff. Then, there's some nerve involvement there that might, require a longer period of time. But, sometimes back pain is just back pain and not, you can't always identify the actual cause. And, my standpoint, I'd rather have people start moving and being active in their recovery as best as possible. Getting back into a football game, that's a different story. But so, I guess it all depends on the degree of injury there. But hopefully he's actively recovering to get back.
Okay, awesome. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about specialized physical therapy. What are you guys doing over there?
Greg's stealing the show, by the way. I was just going to ask the same. Going to tell you to do the same thing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, sure. I founded the practice in '05. We're in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and we've expanded to Burlington and Princeton area. But we're a private, independently owned practice. I mean, we're not affiliated with anybody. We're a standalone. We treat people from young to old, help them recover and from any injury or disease, or help them just function at an optimal level if they just want to improve their ability to perform. Whether they're athletes or fitness athletes out there. So we kind of help people of all ages and help them kind of get back to the quality life that they want to be at.
It's awesome. I think it's a perfect fit because we have a lot of people out there that I know in the chat alone that are softball guys, still playing, still trying to get their body ready. So they know where to find you now, Doc. I just wanted to say Doc too because it sounds so great. It just sounds great, doesn't it, Sweeps?
It's lovely. It's lovely.
Rolls right off the tongue.
I can relate. You play on Sunday, you're sore until Thursday, and then you play again Sunday.
You do it all over again.
Yes, sir.
So, Paul, we're excited about having you on every Sunday and to talk about some injuries around the NFL. And obviously when basketball season gets rolling, I'm sure there's going to be conversation just alone with Joel Embiid.
He already brought him up.
And load management and stuff like that. And hopefully we don't have to talk about Joel much this year at all.
Yeah, let's get some back-to-backs in. Would you, JoJo? Let's go.
Well, I'll ask you one more question, Paul, before we let you run. I don't want to keep you on too long. But one more question about the Markelle Fultz and the shoulder. Now, do you believe an injured shoulder can then lead to some mental instabilities, I guess is the right word for him not being able to shoot the basketball anymore?
To not be able to spell cat. Can a shoulder injury lead to not being able to spell cat? Let us know. Would you, Doc?
I mean, that was a strange situation, right? But I got to tell you, I mean, if you break it down for what we know, when you're in pain, your body moves differently. We know that, right? So, and then when you start moving differently, and if it continues, it grows on you. It definitely becomes like a mental thing, I mean, I grew up I hate to say it, but I grew up a Yankees fan, right? I grew up a little further north, but I'm a big time Phillies fan. But remember the guy Steve Sachs? And then Chuck Knobloch.
Yep.
Those guys couldn't throw it in the ocean at some point.
Yep.
And Rube from Major League.
Yeah, I mean, and at some point I had to believe, it probably started with some type of pain, like a tendonitis or something like that, and they just started throwing differently, and then it's just they forget and they have a couple bad throws, and then it becomes like a mental thing, and then I don't know if that's what happened with Markelle Fultz. That was a kind of a strange situation, and then how it got handled and played out in the media. That was even, it's tough for a young kid, man. What was he, like 19 years old?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of funny. You look at him when he was on the bench, and when he was in street clothes and they did timeouts, you look at him, he kind of had the look, like he wasn't sure what was going on. You know what I mean? At least, that's how I felt.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. He definitely had the look.
He definitely looked like a deer in headlights.
He definitely had the look. So, Doc, I'm excited, obviously, to continue to talk to you every Sunday.
Yeah.
And just go over the injury landscape. And hopefully we're talking about a lot of injuries outside of Philadelphia. I think that's the goal.
Injuries.
But I know we'll be talking about Carson.
I'm glad to be on.
Glad to have you. I know we'll be talking, obviously, for everybody listening. Everybody said thanks, Doc, for all the insight.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people got a lot out of it, obviously. I know we did, and people were loving it. So thanks, Paul, again. And just tell everybody where they can find you again and if they have a little tightness.
Sure, yeah. We're at Specialized Physical Therapy, 1919 Green Tree Road in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can find us online at specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
Thanks, Doc. Be well, brother.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot. Have a good night.
That was Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, located Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. Listen, find him. You can find him right on Facebook. All right, we have him tagged right on the Facebook. You can scroll down. You'll see the show sponsor. Click on it right there. You can go like his Facebook page right there. And just listen, it's good for the body, man. We're all getting older. And I know all the cats listening. There ain't all young puppies running around. There's some old dogs floating around this chat. I know there are. I see some of your profile pics.
I'm sitting right over here.
Rob's
here.
heading in.
Paul Princeton rate tomorrow.
Rob, right around the block. Now, you might not get his office in Princeton, but you still get part of the family, I would assume.
I'll get the Specialized Physical Therapy.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. But the people were loving it. Sorry. Colin Brock wants a shout out to the championship win. Colin had an inside the park walk-off homer to 10-run the team we played in the first game, which is awesome. Like an inside the park walk-off 10-runner, like that's even more of a we dominated you. Yeah, I mean that's even more of a little shot.
Congrats, Colin.
Coach Greg decided not to come out, Colin. He was offered, and he said he was going to be sleeping all day. So that's the reason why Coach Greg.
But that's why you walked, because I wasn't there.
Absolutely, because all we know anymore, Colin, is winning. We don't know how to lose anymore. We broke the curse, and we're like the birds, and we just keep on winning. Keep on winning.
Ain't gonna be enough room for those trophies.
John Malmo said, I told John that. I left John a voicemail and said you might need more space.
It's a song. All I do is win.
It is a song. If we weren't worried about copyrights because YouTube, we don't like YouTube. We'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? If we didn't worry about copyrights, we'd be like, hey, Robbie, fire it up. But either suck or whoever owns YouTube and Google, that guy's smart because he takes pills to keep him alive longer. He's a genius. I need that kind of money because people would love to have me for another 80. You know what I mean? But Twitter don't care.
That's debatable.
Nah, it's not debatable. Stop it. You guys are both here because out of love. Okay, you're both here out of love. Dion said, thank you, doctor, for your insight. Connor Walsh was asking, I think he said over-under on how many games. Yeah, over-under amount of plays new tight end Dallas gets per game. I guess like targets, I would say for targets, I'll go over 5 around there. I mean, we spread the ball around so much. It's hard to say that. I mean, I think this offense really spreads the ball around, so it's tough.
I think for the first couple weeks, I think it will be higher because he's a red zone monster. Even though Ertz finds the end zone and so does Nelly, they have a nose for it. Without your big guy Alshon,
but without Alshon,
Dallas is a specimen. I mean, you can run him out there. You can split him out wide and just go one-on-one. You can an old Jeremy Shockey, little Jeremy Shockey-esque. I know people hated him.
You figure with Nick, they're probably throwing the ball 25, 30 times, right? So Ertz is going to be Ertz is probably going to be 8 to 10 of those.
Well, I think it's that when you know Alshon for whatever,
right, yeah.
I think it adds on to more double tight looks. But
yeah, I mean I'm in that 5 range. I think it's high for week 1 for a rookie. But I think to your point, both your point, without Alshon, and without that guy, especially when we get in the red zone and it gets smaller,
I think that's what
you look for those matchups that you can expose.
Well, I think that's a reason that you drafted the guy because he's a red zone nightmare. And a team that was number 1 ranked in the red zone last year added on to your weapons down there. And when you can add on to the amount of weapons, and not only with him, Mike Wallace, I wouldn't say he's a go up and get it type of guy, but he brings speed down in that area. Yeah. And speed and guys who can go up and get the football down there, that just adds on. That's why when the national media doesn't believe in this football team, and some guys outside of Philadelphia don't believe in this football team, and even some people that are Philadelphia Eagles fans that don't believe in this football team for this year, I just don't know I don't know what roster you're looking at. I just don't get it. I mean, I just believe this team is loaded. I think this is the most talented roster in football, and that's still with 11 not there yet. Okay, that's still with 11 not there yet. Name it more talented defense in football, because you can give me the Rams, because all you got is high-priced guys. You don't have winners. Marcus Peters won't tackle nobody on this couch. Okay, Akeem Talib's too old. All right, and Ndamukong Suh hasn't won nothing anywhere he's ever been. Anywhere he's ever been. Made the playoffs once in Miami. And it had nothing to do with him. Let's be real. Okay? He never lived up to any dollars and cents he made in Miami. He was a problem in Detroit. We know that. Okay? So the Rams are the toast of the NFL? I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't love them offensively outside of Gurley. I think they got to, I don't know. We've been down the dream team game. Yeah. We've been down that road. Yeah. And when I look at the Rams, I looked at you went out and spent a lot of money. And listen, Marcus Peters, I get he's a playmaker.
When you're the champ until somebody knocks you off. You know what I mean? But doesn't mean that there's 5 other. Doesn't mean that there's 5 other teams that didn't get better. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you're not saying.
No, absolutely not.
This isn't as clear cut as it was last year. You know what I mean? Even. When 11 went down, you still had that feeling like this is the best team in football. It doesn't really matter. It will help. Will Nick? As long as Nick doesn't fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you got the keys to a Porsche here. All the tires are pumped up. And you got a straightaway. Just don't fucking crash.
And I'm just
You know
hoping
what I mean? So,
what I'm banking on
belly.
is that what I'm banking on is that Porsche's still driving.
I got you.
That's
I
what
got
I'm banking on here.
I got you.
Now I understand that people can talk Super Bowl hangover and the things that come with that, but until I see this team look sluggish
yeah, I don't
in a real game,
I think that's
I'm not going to buy into that. I'm going to buy in the
'cause
confidence.
Even if the personnel's not there, that starts at the top. And Doug showed you that that he knows how to. He's got that winning culture. The locker room is he leans on his veterans, all right, and he's the figurehead up there. So he's not going to allow that any white noise or any poison, as per even with the media thing. He's not going to let that poison what he's doing and seep in and be a cancer. You know what I mean? So, and that's outside sources. So let alone it's not going to happen in the locker room. So I would never think that anything's possible. I'm not saying they're going to. I don't think there would be a hangover in the sense for effort and sluggishness and going through the motions.
Yeah.
All right, the culture's been changed. Whether they win, become a dynasty, then that's up to them. You know what I mean? It still has to be played on the field. You know what I mean? But it's surely not going to be from effort or attitude or culture. So I don't expect that. But other teams, the 5-6 contenders that we thought they're going to be there are going to be there, and they're going to take their best shot. And we'll see what happens if they're still standing when the dust settles. But I mean, those just should be in every game. The defense should keep them in every game. If you run the football, you're going to control the clock, and then when 11's healthy, we know what he can do. So this is a very, very, very good football team. Don't get that twisted. I mean, so.
Pop Montanez bold prediction.
Pop.
Dallas scores a TD in their first game. I love that. I
Go
love
for
that.
it. Let's go.
Jonathan Mason says the Saints defense is going to scare a lot of people. I don't disagree with that.
Just got to make a tackle there, Marcus.
Roman Garrett. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Square guy up. Break down. L1.
Just don't whiff on a guy, Marcus Williams. But I hear you. They should be.
Roman Garrett, but the Eagles was playing with house money. I don't know what that means. You can play with all the house money you want, babe. You still got to go win it. You know what I mean? It can be all the house money somebody can give you, and say, hey, go gamble this. Still got to go win it.
Yeah.
So I don't buy into the house money gig. Deion Brown, I'm very happy Josh Adams turned down offers from other teams and wanted to be in Philadelphia. Yeah, I mean, would he stay on the practice squad, I guess? You practice squad guy?
Sounds like it.
And Mike Parker says sweeps with the best analogy straight away with a Porsche. Don't crash it and fuck it up. And Pootie Tang on the YouTube. What up, Pootie?
Poots, what's up?
Poots. Sorry, I was reading something somebody said. Yeah, no, I see there's Frank Wright comments, and I'm not going to buy into the Frank being the end all be all of this offense. I think it was a great combination of a lot of smart offensive guys all in one room.
But this is where you see the transformation that Doug made from year 1 to year 2. And how much was it him alone versus him with the same guys? Because this happens everywhere. Yeah. You win a Super Bowl, all your coaches get plucked. Bills had to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bills had to retool.
Guys went running back.
Even you go back to Bill Walsh.
You leave the back door open? Josh is like, you leave the back door open? I don't want to fuck this up again.
Can I get back?
I already fucked this up once.
But this is where you find out who relied heavily on their coordinators versus who was the alpha, was the guy, and just took to your point, took the input. It's just I think it's a little overblown, but we're definitely going to see how much input those other guys had because now that they're not here.
Yeah, I always believe that the input's more, during the week.
Game plan.
Yeah,
Doug
calls his plays on Sunday,
right.
But I think leading up to Sunday is a big part of everybody. But what I'll say helps this team and helps Doug moving forward is 11's getting older.
Yeah.
And 11's growing. And 11's been around these guys. And the way we know this son of a bitch is a sponge, right? And wants to soak up everything and get so much better.
And from 21 Jump Street, he let him change the plays at the line.
Yeah.
I mean,
this
guy was green behind the ears.
Went 6 to midnight.
This guy is, we saw that early on. That
I think Nick helps too.
He gave him the keys.
I think a guy like Nick helps too. As player coordinators. In the QB room in their meetings and getting ready for the week and preparing stuff. Because you can obviously see he likes to run things that these guys enjoy running or they're comfortable running. I think we saw that a lot last year for both quarterbacks, right? And to find things that work well for Nick. We know everything works well for Carson.
Yeah.
But to find things that work well for Nick, that's part of, I think, all these guys. I really do. And I think Frank Reich had a part in it. Absolutely he did. But I'm not gonna cry that he left because an offensive coordinator went away. I got to trust in my quarterback getting smarter too. You know what I mean? And learning this offense that one, Doug Peterson said, takes 5 to 7 years to master.
Yeah.
Right? And we felt like he mastered it week one of the first season.
And like Greg said, we'll see now that he's gone. And I don't take anything away from Frank or anybody that has that title. But when a guy like Dougie and McCarthy, those guys are calling plays, like to me, that's it ends at their feet.
Right,
like I would feel like I understand I have a part in it during the week and in the preparation and the game plan. That's fine. I'm not saying that he was ever left out by any means. You know, the guy's a football guy, football lifer. But this guy's still pulling the trigger on the plays, and they're the ones that that's game days is the gravy, baby. I mean, like, like I know you can help out and get the assist, but like he's the guy that's got to call Philly special.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't come from Frank. I mean, I know they talked about it, and Nick came off. And
But even bigger than that, you got to trust your guy to go to the line and see what he sees, right? I mean, you got to trust your guy to have enough confidence in him to go to the line. Hey, I put you in. I put you in a 22 dive hypothetically, right? And you think, you know what? They're loading the box up. Let's go throw the football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to trust your guys to be able to see things. All right, we got a great play set up for a man cover. Oh, well, it looks like they're running a cover. A cover 3 zone on us or whatever. You know what I mean? So now I got to audible out. You got to trust your guys to be able to think on their feet. And that's so important. Now, if you think Frank's going to Indy and he ain't calling the plays in Indy, everybody's crazy. You know what I mean? He's going to go to Indy. He's going to call his own plays. What I think Frank Reich did really helped out a lot with, and I'll be honest, and I really mean this, the backup quarterback gig.
Yeah.
Stepping in, having to play in big spots is something he had to go through. And he didn't go win a Super Bowl. He won a great comeback, but then he didn't go win a Super Bowl, but got there. But I think that helped Nick to be able to rise a little bit. Now, he's not going to go play for him, but I just think the mental side of it had to help him to be able to bounce off of a guy who's been down that road, that's been in that same situation, and didn't get it done fully. But you know what I mean? I think that helps. I think everything just came together for this football team when we talk about last year.
Oh, yeah.
Like this little things, like Frank Reich.
It's
one
actually,
of the greatest backup quarterback performances ever. Well, and now you got to go to your backup, and then your backup has the greatest backup quarterback performance ever.
It's a tremendous point because
it's a great game.
They mirror each other.
Fuck!
Really, if you ask,
now we did freaking turnover chain bullshit. Now you don't get a turnover all night. LSU can't score on me and you, and they're racking up 33 on Miami. Reverses!
But that's a great
Kill
point
you.
Before you flipped out.
Sorry, I just got the alert. 33-6.
That was a great
33,
point.
Yeah.
But both of those careers very, very similar. You know what I mean? Like you took, taking over great teams.
Yeah.
When it happened, I understand that Frank, didn't get it done at the end, but
close
Jimmy
enough.
was ready to play by the time.
I think
it was
Jimmy
Super
did
Bowl
play,
time.
right? Jimmy did play in the Super Bowl,
Frank
right?
never played in the Super Bowl. Jimmy played in all 4.
Teams, that's what I do. I drop truth
Sometimes
bombs.
it's harder to take over. Most people look at it the other way, like, oh man, we were the best team in football, and that's easy. A lot of pressure comes with that.
Absolutely.
Like, shit, your hands get a little sweaty. I mean, you don't want to be the guy to fuck this train up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's a two-way. It's two ways.
I think it takes a big set of brass ones to go play like that in the postseason. Against the best defense, arguably the best defense in the NFC, came into town. Right? And it was, they're going to shut us down. There are 11 puppies over there, and we know there's 11 studs over there. But to have that performance against that defense, okay, and then to go and piggyback that in the performance you had against the best quarterback of all time is remarkable. So for us not to trust him for a couple weeks, man, that's not fair for us to say, we don't trust him for a couple weeks. I think we need to trust him for 6. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't bring this guy back till November. I don't. This is house money. This is the year that's house money.
November being England or the week after?
Shit, bring him. He plays over at the pond.
His first game is over.
Play over at the pond and fucking wake up at 8 a.m. and smoke the Jacks. That's what I do. Wake up at 8 a.m. and shove it up Ramsey's ass because we know he likes it. So let's go.
Some fish and chips and
go.
A fucking W.
Yup. Maybe a pint. I don't know. You know what I mean?
They're warm
Sounds
over
like
there.
that's
If you got time,
They're warm
if
over
you got
there.
time, and let's go. Yeah, Deems. I don't know what happened.
That's at the end of.
And listen,
that's
Kyle's
at the
gonna
end
be
of
mad at me,
October.
Deems.
That's around Halloween.
Kyle's gonna be mad at me for this pick tonight of the U because he asked me if I like him. I said I love the U tonight because LSU can't score. I even
Yeah.
said, and LSU don't stop scoring. I don't even know what happened. This is why the first week of college football is so hard.
Yeah.
But like last night, I felt like I'm a big wig. I freaking reversed. I reversed Bama and Notre Dame and hit. I'm like, oh, the kid got off to a hot start. I come in reversing again. Like, dude, that's how you lose houses. You freaking get reverse happy because reverses you love them when they win because they feel, man, $50, $200, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you lose and you get hit on both sides, because FSU's definitely losing tomorrow night. We'll wrap that up because I'm going to get on both sides. Both sides. Pop says November 11th game against Dallas. I'm going to go with that one, too.
Yeah.
I'm going with that one.
What's that, like 10?
No, it's
9 or
because
10?
they come home
'Cause
from
it was
England with the
7.
bye week.
I was going to say, because it was 7 to your fish and chips one. That would be the 8th
Yeah.
one. So he would have missed 7, and that would be the 8th.
So 8. So he plays the second half of the
8.
year.
That's Jacksonville's 8.
It's 8, yeah. I want him the second half of the year, 8 and on. Play him at the pond and let's freaking go.
I would keep him just because that track is probably going to be terrible. Because the turf's just not going to be what normal NFL
Wembley?
turf is. And you see it when when teams go over there, the dirt's all flying all over the place.
Kyle says Nick Foles stat line, 3 TDs, 357 in the air against Atlanta. Wow.
Greatest quarterback in
I
franchise history.
I think he's going to have a good game. I really do. I know we haven't made a prediction yet, and we will in a minute here, but I think he's going to have a good game.
You know what,
but, Daddy, you got to throw over 400.
Like that.
You got to throw over 400 like Atlanta's D's a bunch of jabrones coming into town. That's a good football team.
That make me hate Nick Foles.
Yeah, because what are you doing?
Comments like that and fans like that.
I mean, you were like literally like you think it's really this big of a dick.
Straight up,
like you're
on
just
the knees
you really like this with
dude.
it. Yeah.
Like we owe him something. Like he had 3 great games, 2.5 great games, and then I'll never forget him. Thank you.
Yeah, but I ain't in the business of Crown City.
But he's a backup quarterback for a reason.
Yeah, I don't put gold jackets on everybody. Right? I mean, we don't run around with the gold jacket and just start throwing it around on everybody who wins something.
I'm still taking 5 over 9.
Oh, absolutely.
I
think if anybody out there takes Foles over Donovan,
well, no, I'm just saying,
just go jump off the bridge.
For those that say the best quarterback in history, no, the only thing that 9 has is that little shiny thing.
And it matters.
And that matters.
And it matters. But let's not take away the happiness 5 did bring, even though we didn't get over the hump. They were good years of football. They were devastating at the end. They were devastating at the end. I'm not running from that. But through the moments, we were excited. Every year we came into the year saying, yo,
you were guaranteed 11 wins.
Yeah, we're going to compete.
We had a shot.
End, yeah.
Now, he didn't get it done. But all his sins are forgiven when we walked down Broad last year. Every sin of every guy that played Eagle football was forgiven that day. It was all forgiven.
Even Ricky Waters?
Ricky for who, for what? Okay? Christy Jones, Freddie Barnett, Chris Carter in the Coke gate, everything. And, Buddy not wanting the Coke in his locker room. And we give him a guy who catches 200 balls a year with one hand. You know what I mean?
All we do is catch touchdowns.
It's all forgiven. All forgiven. Deem says, I'll say 252 or 235 and 2 touchdowns and a pick.
Right.
I'm right there.
I'll be with you on that.
I'm right there. I think we're going to run the ball a lot. Listen, we have 4 backs to run the football with. This is why I told you all Wendell Small was making his team, and nobody wanted to listen to me. Because he's as your
teams guy.
No, as your fourth, he's your 4th running back, and you actually have a guy who started in the league a couple games. Yeah. So that makes you really deep at that position. So now, what I think you're going to get a heavy dose of early on in the year is all 4 of them. I really do. I think you're going to see a little bit of all 4 of them because I think they're in the business of keeping their backs fresh for the second half and the run. Then giving Ajayi, like I don't think if anybody sits here and says they're going to give Ajayi the ball 20, 25 times on Thursday, you're crazy. You're nuts in my opinion. You're nuts. I think you're going to get 10 from Ajayi. I think you're going to get 10 from Corey. I think you might get 2 or 3 from Darren. I'm talking if you're going to run the ball 25 times. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I think that's where you're at. You might get 2 from Wendell.
Get to your 4th guy. I mean, he's there for special teams.
Yeah. You shouldn't.
And like you said, a guy has played NFL games.
Just because Josh Adams was
very well. Yeah.
Well, he was the crowd favorite. It's an undrafted dude. Can we calm down? He's not Tom Brady as a running back. Like relax.
What are you talking about? You got to do.
But it's the Notre Dame jabrones.
With your 53 men, you got to do as best you can with your
local guy.
With your 53 men, all right? And Smallwood's a special teams guy. So right there, it's like, hey, see you on the practice squad or good luck to you.
Yeah, Johnson, I don't see the Redskins as a sleeper. I see the Giants as a sleeper.
Well, I don't see the Giants as a sleeper. No. I think the Giants are
I think
a very decent football team.
Yeah, I think Mike Parker goes 225, 2 TDs, 2 picks, heavy run game, and some hangover mistakes from Nick. Lenny Robinson. What up, Len?
Len Rob.
He said Ajayi gets 15 carries easy this week. I don't think he's not going to get 15. He just ain't seen 20, 25 like some people want to act like he's going to see.
No.
Like, I just don't see them week one when all last year we talked about the rotation of backs, which drove people crazy out there. Oh, Deuce, too many different guys. You got to give one guy the ball every time. And what you noticed in the postseason is we had 3 really fresh running backs. Yeah. So that when we did pound it down your throat, remember the Garrett's run against the Vikings? Yep. Remember that run? Remember that goddamn run? I remember it. That's a fresh back. That's a fresh dog hitting that hole. And when he ran somebody over. Remember that run?
A hungry dog.
That was a hungry, that was a hungry fresh dog.
Was a hungry dog.
You get LeGarrette at 300 you get LeGarrette at 200 carries making that run. He don't finish that strong. He don't finish that run that strong. That's factual. Jonathan Mason. Wow, Foles 335. Jesus, God, what are you guys playing Madden on easy?
Oh, it's another guy?
Yeah, what are you playing Madden on easy, babe? He goes Foles 335, 27 for 45, and 3 TDs and no picks.
So
wow.
Nick Foles week
45 throws?
45 times. Doug
oh,
Peterson,
my God. I'll fire Doug. I will run the lane. I'll run the lane.
Preseasons mean nothing, but if you're dropping back 45 times after what we watched Nick do in preseason.
And you're not down 20, we got a problem. Yeah. Like, if you're down 21 and 3 touches, sling away, babe. Listen, I think it's a ball control game. I think I believe that it's going to be nice weather, that they're going to stretch the field, absolutely, because you have playmakers on the outside to stretch the field. I believe in that, but I think it's a heavy dose of run, and it's relying on the best defense in the National Football League. And I'll say that ad nauseum throughout this year. Jordan Hicks on this football field, if he stays healthy, solidifies the best defense in the National Football League. There isn't a better one.
And Schefter just reported Hicks tore his ACL.
Shut up.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, my God. I did. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I just say, you brought up the
Get
name.
out of the shower.
You brought up the name, so.
Dude, you know what you just almost happened there?
You tried to give him a heart attack there?
Oh, my God.
I did want to see what he said.
I was like, it's all up. Wrap the show. I would have ended the show. Because then I got nothing. I would have.
Joe Walker.
Joe? You still there, Joe? Joe, you didn't get your stuff out yet, did you, Joe?
He's in a tent in the parking lot. I knew it was coming. I just stayed there.
He's holding signs. Give Joe a chance.
Under the Walt. He's under the Walt. I knew the call would come.
So, actually, not so nice weather on Thursday. Thursday night, scattered thunderstorms, variable clouds and scattered thunderstorms, low near 7. Temperature-wise, low near 75. Chance of rain, 60%.
A little wet.
Straight shower, thunderstorms in the morning.
See, Pop Mon is my dog. This is why I love Pop. This is why I love Pop, because he keeps it real with the family. Atlanta's secondary's good, and he's right.
They are.
They're really good. I think we're acting like last year's Browns are coming to town, like how we're just overlooking the Falcons.
Yeah.
It's a damn good football team. It's a damn good football team. They can run the ball. They got 2 explosive backs out of the backfield. In my opinion, the best overall wide receiver in football because he's gigantic. And Julio Jones. And I know Antonio's a freak and he's filthy. I get all that. But I always go with the 6'3" Moose Knuck who can run the same 40 time and can go get a ball. You know what I mean? I always go with that, even though he didn't go get the ball over Jim. Yeah. But I always go with Julio. I'm a Julio guy. Now, what you got to do is, and it's simple to beat the Atlanta Falcons. You want to beat the Atlanta Falcons? You pressure Matt Ryan to death. It's simple. And I expect this front 8 to go eat. I really do. The addition of Michael Bennett has gone under the radar since the signing. Like, we haven't even talked about it around here. Like that, you just want to get a Pro Bowl DN to add to a bunch of Pro Bowlers. If you don't think Derek Barnett's going to take a huge jump from year 1 to year 2, everybody's crazy. Because if you don't get better with all that talent around you, daily working, and the left tackles you got to go up against, and an all-pro Jason Peters, or they sling you on the other side, and you got to go up against Lane Johnson, you think them 2 aren't going to get you better? Because they absolutely will. Anybody on this team that wants to work on this football team is going to get better because it's so goddamn deep. It's so goddamn deep. So if you want to put it in and you want to work, that's why I call it the best roster in the NFL, because I don't see a deeper one. Outside of the linebacker position, it's the deepest roster in football. Outside of that position, which, I can sit here and say, oh, I shouldn't release Kendricks, but now, they should have. But Howie for president again. Unbelievable.
He'd have been in shackles in an Eagles uniform.
And we would have got a GoFundMe. You know what I mean? We'll pay. The feds, calm down. We would have been easy. We got this. This is on the fan. We'll got Frank Vespi sell a Super Bowl ring. We'll get it all back.
Didn't even lie about it. Straight up, just wore it. Like I was gonna get him out of it. Like, Totally trusted a guy. My fault. I apologize.
Yeah, like that works. Like
I'd have been like, you better prove that shit, bro. Yo, you better prove that shit.
Prove it was me.
Bless him. Bless him.
I didn't know
Bless
it.
him.
Bless him. I love me some bless him.
Yeah, Pop says they were a top 10 defense last year. Dion agrees that he thinks there's a running back by committee. Lenny says they've been waiting to unleash him. They ain't re-sign him. They're going to abuse him in terms of J.J. I just don't see that this is the style of offense that the Philadelphia Eagles run. I just don't buy into it's an every down back. You see it every series of different guys in the game. I just don't. I'm not buying into that. I don't think they changed what worked really good for this team last year, and all of a sudden because the guy's going to be a free agent, now we're going to give the ball 25 times to him. I just don't buy in. Why would you keep 4 backs then? You keep 3.
I'm okay with that theory. I just don't think J.J. is that guy. He's not a Le'Veon Bell. He's not a Todd Gurley. You know what I mean?
Like, it doesn't matter if he is. You see a lot of this in Kansas City where when Doug was there, right? There was a lot of different backs that touched the football.
Where West?
Yeah, and even
but when Jamal Charles was healthy, it was a heavy dose of Jamal Charles with guys sprinkled in.
Yeah, well,
electric.
You have them electric guys, but I just think
that's my point. Like, I don't see Jay being that workhorse guy.
I just don't buy into the knees. He can be a workhorse guy. He did it in Miami where he took the ball 25, 30 times and just kept pounding. He can do it.
Like he's straight ahead.
Yeah. But I'm saying
you can't break
away. I don't buy into giving him 20.
You got a home run hitter. You want to keep feeding him because eventually you're going to hit a home run like Charles. You know what I mean? Where a guy can, but you saw him last year get run by. They ran him down from behind. You know what I mean? Like,
I just think he brings
might have been his first game as an Eagle. Broke one for 40 and then got caught from behind.
I just think they mix it up. I mean, you have other playmakers back there too that you want to get the football to. All right, so to give a prediction,
Corey deserves reps. I mean, he had a tremendous year last year and showed what kind of weapon he is. So.
I'm going to say 2014 Eagles on Thursday night. 2014 Eagles. And Atlanta's got great offense, and I believe in their offense, but not against this team.
17-16 Birds late. Elliott again.
For 63.
Week 1, Elliott.
2.5,
51
45.5.
To win. Yeah.
2.5. It started at 5.5.
Well, that's what the possibility left. That's why Doug didn't want the league.
Started at 5.5. No, this is a while ago.
Still, thought it was 11. Doug didn't want the fucking league.
You're right.
21-20 Falcons.
Keep doing it all year, please. It's like I am guaranteeing a W on Thursday now. You can lock it up. It's a guarantee, stone cold lock plus the cover. Load it up. Load it up.
Calling this guy Mushmouth?
No, what I'm saying to the people out there, that think it's a loss, okay? Anybody out there that thinks it's a loss?
Look to him.
The old days are over. Like when Tampa came in and we opened up the link and it was a revenge, right? And revenge, we got our doors blown off, right? Or any time we, after we would open up against whoever following, a tough L the year before, and it would be an L. And it would be, it would be ugly.
But never as the Super Bowl champ.
Exactly.
Right. No, I'm not saying, I'm not like, killing him. I'm just saying for me, that's where that extra oomph and that place is going to be absolutely bonkers. Plus, we know what the defense does at the link. You know what I mean? Like,
when the curse went away, so did all the bad feelings. Like, oh man, it just feels like an loss. Like they're gonna have a revenge game. Well, we had the biggest revenge game in the world against Tampa Bay. There was no bigger revenge game ever. You're opening up a brand new stadium. You lost to them in the NFC title game. There was no bigger revenge, and you laid a goose egg. So what makes the choke artists that are the Atlanta Falcons and who they are, what makes them gonna come in here and get their revenge against a roster that got better than their roster? What makes that happen? I don't buy into that. Them days are over.
You don't have to buy
You ain't coming in here and getting revenge against us.
That's why it's my prediction.
I know.
Not yours.
Well, no.
A sober.
I'm going to debate.
That guy is a goddamn problem.
Oh, Bob.
A sober Steve Sarkisian. That could be a difference.
Yeah.
Because we know.
That never happens.
Yeah. What I was going to say. Because we saw, not to take anything away from the Eagles' defense, they obviously, rung the bell and did their job. But, we know about those 4 plays. If you wanted to deep dive, they had a little smell to them, those 4 plays.
Oh, absolutely. Pop says 27-24 Eagles. Defense holds up late again.
Pop!
Going over.
Jonathan
I
Mason.
just think the game stays under, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Jonathan Mason, 27-17 Eagles. Kyle Meager says the Eagles win by 20.
Oh, my God.
I changed my mind. Public money all over Atlanta. And the line's not moving either. Deion Brown says, Thomerson, that's what I said, brother. 20-14 Birds. Michael DeAndrea, 24-17 Eagles. And the Eagles are better than Atlanta even without Wentz.
I don't disagree. I just still don't trust Nick.
You just think there's an egg being laid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't. Them days are over. The egg-laying days are over for this franchise.
That's fine.
That went out the window after the Super Bowl win. With all the demons. All the demons went out the window that day.
So
you want to keep living in demon world, that's fine.
I know, but so are you saying because they're at home, they're good enough? Or if they were going to Mercedes Dome, they win that game too?
They win it wherever they're going. They'll open the season because I'm going to keep saying it. This defense can travel. They will travel, and they're better than they were last year. Because just the additions of Michael Bennett and Jordan Hicks in the middle make you better. All he does is make plays when he's on the field. And we've seen a lot of that. He's a playmaker when he's on the field. So I just think them additions make you so much better. He was all over the field against Cleveland, too, in the preseason. I know we're not buying in the preseason, but you can buy in the defense in the preseason, going and getting guys. And he was all over the football field, which was exciting to see because that injury's tough. Another injury that's tough to come back from quickly, and it looks like he rebounded pretty quick. So I'm excited about this defense. I'm more excited to watch this defense than offensively Thursday night.
They better than the Jags defense?
It's tough because yes, because they're deeper. That's why I'll say yes. Yeah, yes, because they're deeper. Jacksonville's different in a way. You know what I mean? I feel like they're a little more physical on the outside. They're stronger at the corner spot in my eyes overall because you have the best corner in football. So it makes you stronger. I love Jalen, love Ronald, and love Sid, but secondary-wise, I think they're a little bit better than us. But everything from the 7 on in, we're deeper. Outside of linebackers, like our front eight's way better than theirs. Now they have their front four is legitimate, but they're not outside of that. They're not as deep as us.
But y'all showed that with injuries still going on to win the Super Bowl. Plus, you get Michael Bennett this year.
Yeah,
yeah. So I get what you're saying.
And you get Haloti Ngata. Yeah. Right, and you get Jordan Hicks back. It's just like unbelievable. Well, and you get Sidney Jones too. Like win it. All right, fam. We're going to take a quick break, come back on their side, finish up things on the YouTube side, continue our conversation, answering your questions. This segment was brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, located in Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. You can find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com, or find them right on Facebook or other social media links, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Well, Paul Vidal on every Sunday with us, talking injuries around the sports world, and we'll continue our conversation. Eagles, some Phillies talk, and whatever the hell else we want on the other side. It's Agree, Disagree, A2D Radio. We're live from the Real Talk Studios. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Round two, agree, disagree, A2D Radio, live from the Real Talk Studios. Now every Sunday, we're brought to you by our specialized physical therapy. That doesn't sound as good. It doesn't rhyme that well like brought to you by our certified public accountant. Doesn't sound right. So I got to switch that one up. But we're brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, located Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. Find them on Facebook, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, and on all social media platforms. And obviously, easy to find the website.
Yeah.
Specialized Physical Therapy. And you're looking for locations, Cherry Hill, Burlington, Princeton, New Jersey. Dr. Paul Vidal. We just had him on a little while ago. Talked the Carson injury with us. Talked pretty much all Carson injury. That's what we did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Carson injury talk. And he'll be on every Sunday, talk all injuries around the NFL. Here in Philadelphia, hopefully not. Some Sixers, obviously, when that season gets rolling. And hopefully we're talking about Markelle and a clean shoulder and not a deer in headlights talk as well. So we'll have all that with Dr. Paul moving throughout the football season every Sunday.
Quick recap. Greg went dirty birding.
Yep.
We went
Yep.
we went Eagles.
Live look. Live look. Greg loves the dirty bird. Really does. Should move to fucking Georgia.
Yeah, if I'm you, Georgia Peach.
That's like six in a span of 6 months. You picked them twice.
Yeah.
All right, grow up. And now it's getting a little out of hand. If you just joined us, our
Hey,
poll
Georgia
question,
girls, hey!
real simple.
Hey,
Who you
go
got
ahead.
on Thursday Night Football?
Hey!
Eagles, Falcons, or what Greg wanted to add in, Eagles fans. Because he feels like they could win the whole thing because it could be a dud of a game. That's what he's feeling.
Yeah.
I hope you're wrong. I hope the Eagles fans. I hope we don't win. I hope we do win in a way.
Right, yeah.
But still answer the poll question. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. ATD Radio is where you can find us. Let us know. Score, prediction, player of the game, offense, defense. Obviously, Wednesday night. I don't know if you'll be here.
I will be here.
Oh, wow. I'll be
back.
here. Rob will be here. So we'll do offense, defensive player of the game
He's
Wednesday night
back.
so you don't hear us say it twice.
Yeah.
Makes sense? Even though I can switch things real quick from a Sunday to a
Yeah.
Wednesday just on a feel. Because unlike Gabe Kapler, I live life on a feel.
Here we
You
go.
pick out of a hat?
Yeah,
You're a hat picker?
Here we go.
Gabe is.
You're a hat picker and a nose picker.
So we're talking. I think we did Carson, Nick, and Nauseam.
Yeah, we did,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think we hit on all them subjects. So I want to dive into a little Eagles / Phillies talk. And I know we were talking before we came on tonight about the lack of consistency with a lineup and with a bullpen and what that does to a team over a long stretch. Because, Mike Schmidt was talking about it on air last night, how he knows he's a little bit old school, but there's something about coming to the park and knowing where you bat in the lineup. If you're batting leadoff, if you're batting 2, if you're batting 3, and he went over, what you're looking to do in them different spots, right? I know I argued with you earlier on about Reese batting the 2-hole, right? And it's like, well, you're not. And I know you talk about Trouty and other guys that have done it before who batted in the 2-hole. That's all well and good. They're 300-plus hitters. Not when your guy bats 250. That you know what I mean? If you want to throw a guy in a 2-hole that flat out rakes, can hit for power, and bat you over 300, I'm all for that guy getting more bats. I'm not for a guy who's batting 250 getting extra bats because he has 27 home runs. Let's not crown like fucking Barry Bonds is over here in Reese Hoskins, because I think that's getting a little carried away too. He's a good baseball player. He's a young baseball player. A lot of growing to still do. So let's just relax on him because he gets free passes around here. Like he go 0 for 20, you don't hear a peep. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that shit. Call it how you see with everybody. He's struggling. Then this entire offense is struggling. And if he wants to go to the media like he's the leader of this baseball team, which I'm good with, because somebody's got to be one, right? Then I can point the finger right at you and say you're not getting it done. So maybe he's the only, and this is what drives me crazy with Kapler. He's the only guy who's left in the spot. He wants to move everything else around, but he wants to leave him in a spot.
Charlie shouldn't be in the 2-hole either.
No.
No, he's not
I mean,
anymore.
Greg's just saying
He's
that. I
not
know
anymore.
he's hit there before. Yeah, exactly. He should lead off where the lineup turns over, and you get that comes up in a lot of big spots, and you can ambush at the beginning of the game, or he's your 3 guy.
Yeah,
He's your best hitter.
and then Hoskins, like, if you're going to tell me there's a drastic amount of at-bats from batting in a 2-hole to the 3-hole, I'm going to tell you you're crazy. And granted, we don't have them numbers,
Yeah.
but it can't be too drastic. right? And then we were talking about small ball, and we were talking about, Gabe and percentages. Well, when you're talking about a 28% chance of getting a hit, it's not a big difference of giving up an out to move a runner or to advance a runner. And we talked about, there's zero consistency with this baseball team. Like if you're a guy who thrives and wants to talk that you're a confidence builder and you give your players confidence, but like if every time I'm up at a bat and realize, man, if I don't get 2 or 3 hits tonight, I ain't playing tomorrow. That's what it became here. That's what it became. Everybody's looking over their shoulder. I mean, Roman King gets 2 hits the other night, and then he's sitting yesterday. What? The guy just got 2 hits. What else do you want a guy to do? Yeah. Odubel has a 5-game hit streak, then you sit him. What? You don't sit guys when they're going well, right? I'm tired of this Drew Cabrera act, too. There's another one I'm tired of, okay? Because I don't think he's as good as advertised. I don't think he's good. I think he's okay. He's not good enough defensively at shortstop. And the fact that Kingery's a better defensive shortstop than him is a problem, okay? So, I mean, you're just in a loss. And we were talking about it before. Wouldn't it have been maybe just okay?
Old. He's old now.
Yeah, just to keep your this team played better when it was just the kids.
But you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I don't know.
Especially in this city. You don't make a move. Like, you go and you try and get Machado, and Baltimore just takes the other deal.
They're Band-Aid moves.
So you don't make any Band-Aid move. Now you get hammered for sticking with your guys. You make the moves, they don't pan out, or they're not panning out as well as you think. Now you're hammered for going and Band-Aiding it up.
Well, because
what do you want? You're damned if you do.
I want you not going to sign
Jose.
I want you not going to trade for Jose Batista, and then figure you're going to run him out in fucking right field over Nick Williams.
Agree with
I got no time for that either.
I completely agree with that. I have no problem with Batista.
That's a bench bat, and once again, that goes to Gabe. People want to fire fucking shots at Clintek. Like, I mean, I think he did as much as he could. Like I said, not landing Manny and not selling the farm for a possible rental at the time. We don't know who was offered, and nobody ever reported any specifics to us, so we don't know what happened. But he went out and got veteran guys. I mean, guys aren't growing on trees. I mean, you can see them, especially now. Once he had to get in there before September 1st to be playoff eligible.
Right.
Like McCutcheon and Freeze and guys like that. So, I mean, Drupal was having a good year. He's not a plus defender anymore like he used to be. He's all glove, no bat.
Never was.
Now he became a little bit. He became more of a hitter.
Yeah.
Ramos was just dealing with a monster. That's a monster pickup. I mean, we know. Jorge's young. You're not ready to take him out to the farm and shoot him. But he's a goddamn butcher back there, all right? And he's not. He's not ready to hit at the major league level consistently. You know what I mean? Yep. So Ramos, that was a huge pickup. And I understand what you're saying. That's. Boer, that's a great bat. He got hurt, what I mean? But we're stockpiling first basemen, all guys that look alike. I mean, so I get that. I get where you're angry there. But they're all bench guys. I mean, it's up. Gabe is playing the one that's hitting Batista in the 3-hole, who's hitting 205 this year. I mean, that's on him. Yeah,
and
Maddie's just giving you a piece where you can go to the bench and say, "Hey, this guy can lose a baseball in the 8th inning if we're down 1." You know what I mean? Nobody's telling you to run him in the fucking 3-hole.
Yeah, I don't think we traded for a Cabrera to run him out there every day at shortstop. Yeah. I thought he'd play a game at short, a game at third, a game at second, back to third again. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he'd be playing somewhat every day, not every day at shortstop. So, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Bautista, the same thing. I just figured Nick would run out there, and occasionally on the day against a lefty, maybe a tough lefty, Batista gets to run out, and but he's that guy at the that extra bat.
Yeah, I agree. Not nobody. There's a lot of people that, but I mean, I was right there leading the pack, killing, wanted no parts of Franco, wanted him out of town, right? And he still might not be the answer long term. Nobody knows. You got to put, people want to talk about, he resurrected his career. Calm down. He's having a good season. But in that season, let him rip. Let him play every day.
I was saying that to him before he came on,
why is he hitting in the 8-hole? We told you with the pitcher behind you, it's not his spot. It's not his spot. Get him in the fucking 5-6 hole.
Power
man.
Position
Let's go,
spots.
Right?
Yeah, like we were talking about.
22 bombs.
That's another guy. I said, how's this guy not playing? I was talking to Greg before we came on. Now Franco's your odd man out. Yeah. Now Williams, who was hitting the ball, is your odd man out.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I understand everybody wants to throw.
Williams was going to be your best hitter.
I know everybody wants.
That way.
I know everyone wants to throw everything at Herrera all the time, and he's the problem, and he's this. But it's another guy. Like you want to give a guy confidence, but guy gets going a little bit, and then you sit him again. Because your lineups are so planned out. Everything's planned out 45 days in advance instead of having a feel. Right? It's okay to the X. It's okay to say, you know what, Roman had a good night last night. I know it's saying. I know it's saying for us to sit Roman today and blah, 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 blah. But no, we're going to run him back out there. Oh, Dube's got, hitting in 5 straight games, 2 homers in 5 games. Let's get him back out there, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's a guy who carried you the first half of the season offensively. But now you don't. It's just, and the same thing with Franco. It's a guy who's your hottest hitter, your best overall hitter by numbers, right? And you don't want to run him out every day now.
Well, that's why
you can't make it up.
That's why it's an eye test. That's why it's a feel sport, all right? As much as those guys, and I understand it's part of the game now. And Greg brings that up every time he's around, and that's okay. A lot of people do it. I'm not refuting it. You know what I mean? It is part of the game now, all right? But the guys that are winning are able to still have feel for the game and not be robotic and tell me that's just because that's what it says on page 20. You know what I mean? Like, and to your point, like, I don't care if I made my lineups 3-4 games in advance. It doesn't matter. I mean, if a guy's fucking 10 for 10 with fucking 8 bombs, he's playing every fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get a rest when it's time.
Well, how busy are you?
You'll get a rest.
That's my question.
Right? Quinn's been hurt for his whole fucking career. Now that he's fucking upright, ride the pony till his fucking wheels fall.
Because he's going to be hurt again.
Yeah, exactly. It's coming. You know what I mean?
I'd
rather
have him get hurt diving into the center field fence than get hurt running up and down the steps.
Like, I didn't know a big league manager's job was that busy, where on a daily basis you can't write a lineup out. Like, I didn't know it was that busy, like, overnight that you can't write a lineup out for the next day. I didn't realize it was that busy of a schedule. I didn't get it. I didn't get managing a big league club.
I mean, it's
you had
to
take things away.
It's still year
Dude,
one. Whether you want to
Okay.
say they're the same or not, Doug made a huge jump. All I'm saying is jump. Doug made a huge jump from year 1 to year 2.
Dude, you're comparing a freaking football
Your
guy.
hatred for Gabe is my hatred for Doug.
Dude, Doug's a football fucking guy. Gabe's not a baseball guy. He's an analytical fucking dork is what he is, okay?
So Doug's not using numbers?
Dude, he uses numbers going on 4th down. We already talked about the percentages are different. To go for it on 4th and 1's like a 60% chance.
No. Year one, when you
go for it on 4th and 1's a 60% chance.
When you're the worst coaching hire and you're still going for it in meaningless situations.
That's telling your football team that you're instilling confidence. Big difference.
So,
big
I got
difference.
first and second and 7th inning.
He didn't bench his fucking quarterback. He didn't bench his fucking quarterback.
I want my guy to drive a baseball in the 7th inning.
You know what it is? You know what it is?
Okay,
good. So then every time we run out our 11 on defense, week to week on Sundays, it's going to be a different fucking 11.
Okay.
Get the fuck out of here. That's what he's doing, but on the baseball side of things.
All right,
that's
so
all he's doing.
It's still in confidence, but if my guy's up there, first and second, no outs, I want him to drive a baseball. I'm not going to say, this is a bunt situation. Let me bunt here.
Why can't you bunt for a hit?
Because the guys
10
years ago bunted.
Why can't you bunt for a hit? You don't score offensively.
Well,
it's one thing if you're murderers fucking row. You don't hit.
Agreed. In certain situations, I completely agree. But you're still I want my guys driving baseball.
Yeah, I'm not saying
nobody doesn't want your guys driving baseballs. But
it doesn't have to be 10 times out of 10 times, all right? But, the situation.
7th and 8th inning?
The situation calls
for
for
it. We're down 1? Yeah, you're right. Alfaro should be benched.
Especially when you don't fucking hit.
Up there,
you know what I mean? But
you're absolutely right. There's no doubt about it.
I'm just saying.
But I'm saying this is still year 1. So let's give the guy a chance to go back after all year and was like, all right, maybe I shouldn't make my lineups 30 days out in advance.
I would buy into that. I would buy into that if you adjusted in the most meaningful stretch of your season. Right? I would buy into that if I saw a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of change.
But
there's none.
How do we know there's
none? Because there's
none?
no freaking – your back end of your bullpen doesn't know what they're doing night in, night out. That's a fucking problem. That's not new in the game of baseball. That's not new. Every good baseball team has their 7th, 8th, 9th guy to go. And they know who they are. Go into the clubhouse, walk in the clubhouse. I go to the pen, and I know, guess what? When the 9th inning comes, I'm getting the ball, and it's my job to close the game out.
No argument there.
You can't reinvent that wheel. Because that's what's happening. I know all these guys on Facebook say, well, that's Major League Baseball. That's Major League Baseball. No, it's not.
Pen stinks.
But
granted,
but
could
again,
they be better?
Gabe gets all that hate for those guys not doing the job. So Gabe gets all that hate for those guys not doing the job.
Going into the season, people said that was their strength. Which I laughed at that because, we're talking
I was one of those guys because I thought it was. I thought the acquisitions
I know it's
of
easy to say 6 months later. I get that. So I'm not throwing swords at you.
I was just saying.
I said at the time, these guys are a bunch of no-namers. That doesn't mean you can't be good. But you got to, there's a big difference between a veteran guy getting it out in the fucking 7th inning, 8th inning, as opposed to a rookie that might be out of gas, a.k.a.
Sir Anthony.
I
completely agree.
He's falling in love with his slider, and it's just fucking rolling up there instead of saying, hey, I throw 100. Let's go. So, I don't know.
I'm just saying, let's give the guy an all-season to relook at what he's done and say, all right, am I going to make the jump? Am I going to still be the pompous prick that everyone thinks I am? Or am I going to actually look back and say, all right, I could have done a little couple things differently.
But I think you got to do that this month, though. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's time for reflection in the offseason, especially if you were 10 games back. But now it's money time. I know they're 4 back now, so you feel like they're climbing that goddamn mountain. But September's schedule is a cakewalk, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
You got to get to the Braves, but it's, and Robbie, we disrespect Robbie because the Mets play good against them. But I mean, you got the Mets, Marlins, and the Nats that tried to fucking fire sale everybody. I mean, they're the games that you got in front of you. You know what I mean? So you should win those games, right? Or at least the majority of them. I mean, we'll see what happens. You still got to play the games, but the schedule's favorable toward them, if you ask me, till you get those last 11 games.
Well, to your point, real quick, Sweeps, right? You got
and hopefully you missed a Grom.
Right, yeah. Of course. Hopefully you missed the Grom. Cy Young Award winner.
Every day.
I know, but basically the 2 new managers here, Mickey and Gabe. You don't have that bench manager that's been there and has that baseball instinct to help these new guys along. I mean, I'm assuming you don't have that in Philadelphia.
It's Dusty Rothman.
And that's what you can't create in season is to have.
Right. Go ahead.
But basically to have that instinct to put the book down, you studied the book before the game, use what you learned, and then go by baseball instincts when you're making calls during the game. There's no guy to help these new guys there to do that. In my opinion.
Ryan Thompson's been around for a while.
Right, but even if you make the call, if it doesn't get done, Gabe's getting the shit end of the stick anyway. You know what I mean? You make the call and you do the deal, whatever it is. Yeah. It doesn't get done. It comes back on Gabe, not on the guy not doing the job.
That's always been that's always been my problem with everything, not just him, just sports in general. Like even in life or in my job, if I'm fucking going down, I'm going down, baby. You understand? It's not because of a book or Tommy just told me to do something. Like if it's my ass is in that fucking fire, you bet your fucking bottom dollar that it's my decision. You know what I mean? I made that fucking decision. Like nobody's telling me what to do. So
sure.
I hear you. So whatever it is, just commit to it. That's all, and own it. Don't tell me it's the numbers told me this, the book told me that. Just fucking let it go. You know what I mean? Like. I know we make a big deal the whole Harold Reynolds things, but that was spot on by Harold. You know what I mean? Like he wasted the whole time, not Gabe or whoever the fuck called him over. You know what I mean? The hitting guy, whoever to say, get your nose in this fucking book. I mean, this is a fucking veteran guy, all right, that's been around a long time. I mean, like you don't just tell him, hey, this is what he's got. There's no reason to look at it. You probably don't have that many licks at the guy. So you just tell me what he has. What's the book say he has, and then let me get back to my timing. You know what I mean?
I don't. At this point, you almost know what guys have too. And as part of it, I think a lot of these guys just like to go up and not need to know what everybody has. You know what I mean? I think there's hitters out there that don't want to know either. There's guys out there that want to know, and there's guys out there that say, I don't want to know, man. I just want to go hit the baseball. And not overly think.
Too mental.
And not overly think about it. I just want to go swing.
There's a such thing as analysis by paralysis. I tell my kids that all the time. I mean, this is a sport where you're trying to make adjustments, right? But all that that's in that moment right there. Prior, but when you get in that moment, I tell my kids all the time, get dumb. Get dumb, you know what I mean? I'll give them that southern drawl, Anybody from the South, we apologize. But that's hey, get dumb. I tell them, get dumb. You know what I mean? Like when you're in there, get dumb. You're on the mound, get dumb. Right? You're in the box, get dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not the time to think. Right, all that other time is prepare. When we're preparing ourselves, or we're 5 hitters away. Then give me that book. What's going? They're going to the pen. Give me that. I don't know this guy. This guy's a fucking rookie. He's throwing 101. I mean, what else has he got? He got a fucking changeup or something. That's the time to get smart right there. But in the box, I'm not fucking looking changeup. I'm looking 101. And if he fucking hangs a changeup, I'm hoping my barrel's in the zone long enough that I can fucking square it up. Something like that. So it's just too much of it, and not just him, around baseball. So, I mean, he gets it from being, where we're at in the tri-state area, and he, of course, he's going to get it, and the passionate fans want to give it to him. But, I mean, I was the same way with Matheny. I fucking hated him. That was it. In the beginning, I liked him. It was fresh. It was a new thing, former player, whatever, and then it just it got old quick.
Yeah.
Well, going back to a quote he said earlier in the season, Gabe speaking, right? He goes, my job is to hear my criticism, take it in, and change my ways and do something about it, to own it. He said that, and that sounded really good. Has he done that?
No.
Well, I think he did with his handling of his starting pitchers, because that was right after that was the home opener. That was a home opener where he got booed out of the building because of his handling. And I thought he's handling the starting staff as well as anybody could.
That's the only reason they're not 15 back. You know
right.
what I mean?
Whether
he has anything to do with that or not, starting pitch has been fantastic.
They have been. but he's left the guys in when they should have. He's taking them out.
That's all Rick Kranich.
Right. So there you go.
Honestly.
He does the job.
No, because
the other guy gets the credit. You know what I mean? And that's the way it is.
What job is he doing? What job is he doing with his staff? What day-to-day is he doing with his staff? You tell me.
So he doesn't take him in and out. Like that was the fight. The first. Oh, Noah's my guy. You leave Noah in the first game. I'm not disagreeing it.
Are we talking about taking in guys in and out or working with the staff? I mean,
taking in guys in and out. That's his decision.
It's okay. I'm not saying it's not his decision, but the crown that is ridiculous to me because he knows when to take guys in and out because he learned how to do that.
That was one of his biggest.
Wow, you said you sat on the bench your whole baseball career, Gabe, and you studied how managers did things, and you learned fucking nothing. I don't know.
Here we go.
Dude, you get upset with me because I'm tired of the act. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the pressers. I'm tired of
all the hate.
Why, Greg? Because
it's not always warranted at him.
What's the love affair for him? What is
it's just something new. It's something new.
It's too new, obviously.
It's something new.
Everybody around baseball talks about how bad this guy is.
Okay.
So that's not new. What's new about that? That's ugly. That's not new.
We have a second plea. We're playing meaningful baseball games year one in September. That's nothing to be excited about.
That was happening regardless on who the manager was. I'll factual that. We'd probably be better with a different one. I'm telling you, because these kids have always won together. That was going to happen sooner or later that they were going to win games together because that's what they always have done. Okay? It was going to happen with or without him. You want to change? Go to Dusty Woffman then. Then that should have been your fucking hire. You want change. Not a fucking robotic, analytical guy, and that's all he does. That's all he thinks about, which I don't know where that came from a guy who played baseball in an era where that wasn't a big part of it. I don't know where all this came from. I really don't. He's been around too many managers to be robotic like this. He's been it. And then the opposite of robotic where, well, no, it is because all his lineups are written out, are predetermined and written out. So it even proves more of a point. It's just not consistent, if that makes sense. It's written out, but you don't know who's going to bat where any day, right? So he's handled his staff well, and he's totally fucked his bullpen by moving and switching and not just saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go to battle with my dogs. You're my closer. You're my closer. All right. If I need to give you a day off, Nishak's the other guy in, or what? You know what I mean? Tommy Hunter, you're going to be my eighth inning guy. That's why I went out and signed you for big money to be my eighth inning guy, to be my setup guy. Pat Neshek, I brought you in for a situational spot guy, right? Give me an inning here, inning there, but none of that happens. So Sir Anthony starts to fade, but you're Mr. Confidence. The guy's still throwing hard. It's not like there's something off his velocity where he looks tired. He's just not locating, okay? And now he's done. That's good for young kids, Mr. Confidence guy, Mr. Give it a chance.
You got to get over it. You got to get over that wall.
You know how I get over the wall? Put you back out there again.
Yeah.
Not, oh, you're out. You're done. What does that do for a guy's confidence? For a rookie just up at the show. What does that do for him? Tell me.
It's not just up in the show. He's been here a couple months. He's all right.
That's just up in the show, Greg.
Okay.
That's up in the show. Okay, it's his first taste. So that would be just up, right? Like first cup of coffee, just up. You just woke up.
Yeah, but I mean, we're a couple months into it though now.
Okay, well,
he knows what his deal is.
Yeah, well, he did know what his deal was. Now he doesn't.
We'll get back to throwing strikes.
I understand that, but if you're not going to run a guy out there a couple more times or whatever the case may be, and continue to see if he can fight through it and find out what his mental makeup is, then what are you learning about a guy?
So you run out there and he blows up. Why are we running this guy out there every day?
Then he blows up then. But he had enough confidence to be your closer at one point for a long stretch, but now he doesn't because he had bad outings. This is the big leagues. Well, relievers get hit around.
That's also a philosophical thing in a sense where, like, I know it's a physical action, but I'm saying, like, that somebody's got to talk to him and tell him, like, hey, if you're going to get beat with your fastball. Like, when Kenley gets beat, he gets beat with his cutter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cardinals got him twice in 1 week. You know, he got beat with the cutter. He left it up, and he got destroyed. It wasn't a secondary pitch. You know what I mean? So if you're going to get beat with 100, get beat with 100. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mariano always got beat with a splitter.
Yeah.
If he got beat with his splitter.
Listen, man, you don't think I want the guy to be successful? Like it's not about him. It's what it is, but it's not. Like I don't want the guy to fail because that means more change. Okay, but yeah, obviously I have to give him next year because Quintac's going to go down with this dog, right? So I have to. But if we're off to the same start next year in terms of, you know, lineups just thrown together, right? With nobody set in stone somewhere, nobody knows where they're at. If we're going through the same stuff next year, I can't buy into that. No matter what, no
but
matter
his
where
point-
baseball's going.
And to your point, nor should we.
No.
But I'm going to give the guy a
Yeah,
year,
of course.
and then look back and say, all right, were there some spots where we really screwed up, and we could have been a playoff team where we just missed? Yeah. It has expectations changed
absolutely. And
from this year too.
Like I said,
if we missed the playoffs, is this a disappointing year? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's two different sports. But to your point, I mean, like Dougie, the jump Doug when made from 1 to 2 was huge. You know what I mean? And I understand he set it up in year 1. You know what I mean? Some of the things he was rolling the dice and stuff, but. You know, I mean, he was cooking. He was on that hot seat. People were roasting him. I mean, the football guys wanted him. Give him 3 years. You know, what I mean, if not, you become a bad organization if you're just running guys out of town right away. You know what I mean? But he showed glimpses of it.
I just don't see the risk taker in Gabe like
I
I do in
understand that.
Doug.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
my difference. Like I don't see the risk
that's
taker.
fine. But it's also a lot harder in baseball to risk in a game situation.
Well, a bunt would go a long way.
Bunt or
Because
steal,
that's risky
yeah.
according to the numbers.
But
so.
you also have to be in that situation too. I mean,
Well,
and they have been.
Yeah, like in San Diego, cleanup.
okay,
I mean,
yeah.
You know, it's just I pay a lot of money. Love to see extra
The
baseball.
other
that
thing
night.
I look at though is the guys seem to play for him. Whether he's instilling confidence or not, they seem to play for him and they seem to react when he's around.
I think you could make that. I think you could make that argument a month and a half ago. I don't think you can make that argument now, because playing for him would win a series, right? Like you're one of the best home teams in baseball. Doesn't look like it. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? You just lost 2 series at home.
Yeah.
So
Cubs are a good team though.
Okay, well you lost a series to Nationals too. Let's not run from that. Let's not run and hide from that. Okay, you haven't won a series in over a month.
I'm not.
So let's not run and hide from the amount of losses, and we can say that these guys want to play for him. One, to play for him is showing up in meaningful baseball games. That's showing me you want to play for him. It doesn't look like guys are having fun out there. This is what the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
So they might want to play for him, and they're just not getting the results aren't happening. But that's a long time of not getting results, and over time of you coming to the ballpark and you getting yo-yoed. At some point, that's going to be tiresome.
Well, that's when you lose. That's when the honeymoon's over. You know what I mean? When guys like Franco aren't playing every day and he's playing well. Williams is starting to turn a corner. Now he's getting. Now he's platooning. You know what I mean? Like those guys and a doable whatever. He's still a professional hitter. I mean, the other things he does, people are tired of, and he's like a child, when it comes to other stuff. But
yeah, we can move him to left field.
He can hit a little bit. I mean, I know he's struggling right now it feels like for 3 months.
Yeah, it does.
I mean?
Yeah,
but
it does.
I don't know. I mean, it just that's when you lose guys. When guys know that maybe they don't belong or they're average and they're just happy whatever crumb you're giving them. You know what I mean? You're feeding them like your goldfish, feeding the goldfish. All right.
Yeah.
So if Franco was still horse shit and you gave him 1 start a week, he'd eat that shit up. You know what I mean? But now that he's fucking playing, he's having a good season. He expects his name in that fucking lineup every day. No,
I don't disagree.
Now you're gonna lose him.
Yeah, I think that's what we're starting to see. I feel like we're starting to see guys looking over their shoulder. The computer doesn't have me in today. I feel like that. And when you have one guy say that early on in the year, you got to believe that it's starting to creep in other guys' heads.
Could be.
Where they're like, okay, the computer doesn't got me. I'm not good enough for the computer today. It's got to be. Because there's so much movement. Joe Madden loves analytics, dude. His lineup being a clusterfuck.
Yeah,
he's a field guy, too.
In order to play every day, you got to be able to hit both guys. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine the hate Rizzo would have, or where the Cubs would be if Rizzo was a platoon guy? Because they thought, well, maybe he can't hit lefties.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not putting Nick Williams in that Rizzo category. I'm just saying, like, you don't know until you play every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't have to be, X and Y, and it's got to be, okay, so lefty's throwing, I got to play a righty. No, it doesn't have to be. We saw that with 067. You know what I mean? It didn't have to be. Nick lost a lot of bats early, where he can, you can get your teeth. You can wear your teeth down. And you start facing lefties all the time, and you start getting used to it. And you hang in there, and you show, hey, I can play every day.
You might as well roll with him because Jose Bautista in his career has dominated left-handed pitching, but not this year. He's actually been better against righties, knowing him from the Mets play this year. So give Nick Williams his chance to develop on lefty situation.
Yeah, so for 2 years, well, last year we ran the guy out at the end of the year every day. And this year he's not starting, even though he had a good season. And it's just
there's absolute moves in there day in and day out that bug me, especially being a Nick guy. he was on a tear to where he was probably going to end the year as your best hitter, average wise. You know what I mean? I'm not homers wise. He's probably going to reach 20 by the time.
Which
you know what I mean?
Which isn't hard on this team.
No,
I know what you're saying.
But he was probably going to be up there in that 270, 280 range, which is the way he was going. Sure. And it boggles my mind why he's not out there. But I hate getting into the day-to-day, like game by game ebb and flow. I'm just going to look at the whole year at the end of the year, and I'm just going to go with the whole thing. I mean, do each game and each loss bug me, but I'm not going to get into the whole, up and down roller coaster because I have no control over it.
No, but this hasn't even been. This has been a down. I mean, we can't even say it's been like this over the last month and a half. I mean, it's been a straight run down. That's the problem. That's the concern.
I mean,
if you sprinkle in a series here or there.
It started in the offseason, and as before he even managed his own game, his first game. You know what I mean? Carlos Santana in the National League is a bad signing. That's the bottom line. It's easy to say now, 5 months later. And I know, like Greg has said before, like if he gets to 30 and 100, of course that's a great year. You know what I mean? But it's just, like you already had a guy there. So now you had to take him off, weaken the position. I understand, like Reese was into it because he's like, hey, if we're getting better, okay, I'll run around out there. But he's bad out there. He is. He's atrocious out there. You know what I mean? And,
he's so slow.
You went to a league. You went to a league with no DH, where like if you had that, that's where Santana can.
Oh yeah.
We've seen him had at least 7 games where he's had throwing errors that have been pretty crucial. You know what I mean? Like that maybe not necessarily lost him the game, but had a fingerprint on it. You know what I mean? He's had at least 6 games.
And I don't like. And the funny thing is, like, I don't hate Carlos.
No.
Because I think there's value to his ability to get on base. But I can't have a guy that I'm paying that kind of money to bat 220.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You just see how many other donkeys are there at the time. You know what I mean? At the trade deadline. You know what I mean? So if we didn't have him, boring injury could have came in and played a lot. You can move.
But we also probably weren't looking at that point.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at that point you probably have Roman up a lot earlier, playing center field, and you move Odubel, and your outfield is Herrera, Quinn, Williams.
Yeah,
No, for sure.
I mean, you're right. It's not rocket science but I think we were going to get I thought, because I liked the signing. I thought the signing was more internal than it was external on the field. Yeah. And I thought we'd get a better Carlos this year, 260, 270, than 220.
Yeah.
And then next year. This year kind of happens.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like,
I actually think now it's going to flip flop. I think he'll have a good year next year. He probably will because.
But I figured this was a 2-year deal.
Yeah,
another year.
I know there's that third year.
There's another guy that goes to now. That
the NL-AL switch always matters too. I always got to factor it in a little bit. Different arms, first year.
But the lineup wise with him is where Gabe gets roasted. That's on Gabe.
Sure.
There's a guy that if we're not going to hit and run, it's 2018, so nobody hits and runs barely anymore. Nobody rolls the baseball. That's fine. Then how about a guy that fucking walks 150 times, whatever it is?
Lead him off.
Or put him in a 2-hole. That's fine.
Give
me some guys on. So
but
Hoskins doesn't have solo
used
shots.
to lead him off all the time.
I know, but
because he got on base a lot.
Right.
So he's like, okay, like you're saying, we don't run a lot. You know what I mean? We don't hit and run a lot.
Not conventional lineup. Anyway.
Yeah. So whatever.
As much as like that's Schmitty was trying to say that last night, and he was just trying to give us good information, which we all know, baseball guys, we eat that shit up. But we already know that. We know that from 10 years ago or 15 years ago. We know that it was a speedy guy on base guy led off.
Yep.
Your 2-hole guy was your hit and run guy. Great barrel, didn't strike out. Guy that can handle the bat, can roll the baseball. Your 3-hole's your best hitter. Your 4 hitters, your bopper. You know what I mean?
Well, what do
your
you say?
5-hole guy is the protection for him, and your other run producer. You know what I mean? So
I'm tired of hearing everybody else talk about Caesar's bat being slow and looking tired and this, that, and the third, but the manager can't pick up on it and be like, dude, let me give you a couple. Let Scotty go out and play second base. They refuse to allow Scott Kinger to go play second base. I mean, I'm not Mr. Scott Kinger. I'm not saying he's going to have a better bat, but he's probably at this point of the year, he's a lot fresher than Caesar is. He's worn out. You can see it. And I think he got hurt 2 months ago because I seen the swing. He took a swing, and it looked like it was his back. And from that,
was it not the foot one?
no, it was a back where he was stretching afterwards, and I'm
But
like,
I mean,
man.
you were facing a lefty
And I'm like,
today.
shit.
I mean,
And I'm
today,
like,
you're facing Leicester today. It's Franco. If you don't want to play Cabrera there anymore, that's fine. Then you leave Kingery there. But Cabrera can play second. I mean, what is Florimon doing? What are we doing?
Right, yeah.
I mean, he's fresh off
Well, yeah,
off the
yeah.
broken leg or broken foot, whatever it is.
It's like you want to throw bones to guys who don't deserve bones.
Yeah,
I just don't.
yeah.
I don't buy
Yeah,
into
I
it.
mean,
September
like you
call
said,
up,
the
you know?
lineup today was a pile of
September
dog
call
shit.
up. Yeah.
I'm
that's
not
not okay.
You know what I mean? And that's not okay when you're in a pennant race, and I get that.
Like if
You
you're
know what I
if you're
mean?
if you're 10 games out, you do that shit.
Right, yes.
You just it's almost like he's still in spring training mode, never got out of it.
Or
You know what I mean? Like
or
he
if
forgets that
or,
it's like it's a little warm here.
Or if
Am I in
it's Pavetta
Clearwater?
pitching. If it's Pavetta Velasquez pitching, you throw that
And
lineup
you say, you
out
know
there.
what? Let me go see if I can get a spark from these guys because nobody's hitting. You know, I understand that in spots. Like, you know what? We're not hitting. Let me go mix this whole thing around today and throw names in the hat and see what I come out with. Once in a great while. I get that because sometimes you got to do that just to take guys. Hey, you're not giving anything.
Yeah.
Make sense? Just to remind guys. Okay, just because you're leadoff guy your whole career and you're struggling, babe. You're not guaranteed nothing. And then you switch things up for a day or two, and then you go back to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you go back to it. But it's every day where I can't buy into it. If it's once every 2 weeks, I can buy into a shuffle. I can't buy into a goddamn shuffle with kids fucking daily. If these are all vets, then be my guest because they're vets enough to be able to handle adversity, but not a bunch of fucking puppies. You fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, in reality, though, he's only playing a couple of them.
That's even more, but that's the yo-yo effect. Some days you're good enough to play, other days you're not good enough to play. Rome, come on, dude. I'm the biggest Adubel guy around, all right? Roman Quinn's a better center fielder. It's fucking facts, dude. I love Adubel. He can play left field. Adubel's not even wasn't even an outfielder coming up through the system, all right? He's an infielder, converted to be an outfielder. Roman is a center fielder. It's who he is.
Yeah.
So let the dog go be what he is and move Adubel to left, puts Hoskins at first, and say, Carlos,
If you want to
give you a little breather.
Exactly. If you want to have a good lineup and a good hitting lineup, and you want to have the length, you got to have at least 6 core guys. 6 core guys, and then you'll sprinkle in your bench guy, 2 guys that can platoon. You know, the guy, like Ramos can't play every day because we know he's banged up, whatever, you know what I mean? So you leave those last 2 spots, whatever you do.
And Jorge's the guy
for
I'm
the
fine
guys,
with 2
for
days
the
a
guys
week.
you want to play musical chairs with, that's fine. But you got to have 6 guys in order to have any length and have any consistency. You got to have a core 6 at least.
Yeah, and I think that 6 like sort of stood themselves out where I think it, obviously Hoskins, I believe Adubel, Mikel, Caesar, Nick, I feel like has deserved that. And, I'm not talking about the newer guys in here. I'm talking about the guys who have been here and Rome. I feel like them 6 guys deserve to be the start of your core on what you're trying to build here. Right? With all due respect to everybody else on this baseball team and Jorge, because I think he has a bright future. I think he'll grow into a big league hitter. You can see the power, you can see the raw talent.
No, I'm not
There's a
debating
lot
that.
of work.
I'm
Listen,
saying
he
usually can catch and throw first. I mean,
ask around though.
I know he can throw.
No. Ask around last year how
what I mean?
bad it was.
You know what I mean?
Because this is head and shoulders.
Yeah,
He just came around.
but I
Like
think-
he couldn't even call a game well last year.
I
he was
think-
bad.
I think
So you hope that continues
if
to
they're
develop.
smart enough and they re-sign Ramos, which
He's half a
I
butcher now,
would
is what
like
you're
to
saying.
do.
Because I would like to play Ramos if I could, and Jorge develops. You play one 4 days,
That's
one
what-
3 days, and they're both fresh all year.
I think if you re-sign him, you say, go live with him for a month. You know what I mean? Like we always joked, go to some Molina and learn how to catch. Go to Yachty or Benji.
Because Wilson's a good catcher too.
Yeah, Wilson's a really
And,
good
and
catcher.
Jorge, and I thought Jorge did. I'll give Jorge credit for this for being a young kid. He handled his staff really well early on in the year. Now, did he butcher some balls back? Absolutely. And you expect that from a young kid sometimes. He's not Yachty coming into the league, where it's just nothing's getting by me. And you got to and he's a big guy too. And big guys sometimes got to learn how to get a little more agile back there and move, and not think that you can just backhand everything. All right. But that's his growth. I mean, like you talked about guys last year when I was begging for him up early on, and I know Mike used to say it all the time, man, he's a hot mess back there.
Yeah.
He's not ready to catch every day. So his jump from last year to this year is big. Now, can you do it again and continue to do it? That's what this whole game's about. You know what I mean? But the jump was there enough to say, man, this was the best. It's one of the best staffs in baseball early on in the year. So he has that. You have to give him credit for that. You know what I mean? And then Wilson's no reason why the staff's struggling now. That's not his. You know what I mean? I just think that you needed the one guy in your staff where you needed to step up in this spot, hasn't. and that's Jake Arrieta.
Right.
You signed him for this time of year. You signed him to know how to get through the dog days. That's why he's here, okay? Because he's been through this road. All right? Now, Noel's been lights out. Nobody else has pitched well. And is that Gabe's fault? No, but that's a Gabe and Quintac fault because you said that Gio Gonzalez wasn't good enough to go get off waivers, right? That was your decision. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on. Nick Pivetta was better. That's what you told us. That's fine. And I understand. But now you want to give kids confidence. It doesn't work in all these different spots where it fits you where, oh, you know what? Let's keep, we're not going to take Nick out of the rotation. You know where I'm going with this. But you're going to take Sir Anthony out of the closer role. You can't do it both ways. When one guy struggles, he's not good enough, but another guy struggles, but we're just going to keep giving the ball on day 5.
Sure.
We're just going to keep running them out there. That's not how it does. If you want to be Mr. Confidence, and all you do is give your guys confidence, then everybody gets the ball. Make sense? Then that's how it goes. Everybody bats in their lineup, everybody gets the ball in your spots, and I'm Mr. Confidence Builder, and it's kumbaya in the fucking clubhouse. Damn it. You can't have it both ways. He did. The shit he's doing with a Dubois I wasn't okay with. Not because I'm a Dubois guy, because of any guy. I say things about Rome. You can't play him, and then he gets 2 hits and you sit him. You can't go on get a little hot when you need the guy getting hot, and now he's not good enough to play. Like I don't. That's what's getting me. That's what I'm drawing the line in the sand. I said I'm not going any fucking further with this guy. Now I'm not firing him yet, but he's got a very short leash next year. He really does. He does. He gets a 3-month leash. If the same shit's going on. Things just going on. Now, the Quintac maybe give him too much, which is no such thing, I guess. But maybe there was too many moves made where now you got all these options and you're like a kid in a candy store.
Keep a guy fresh here.
Yeah, and he's trying all these things. Yeah, but this
that's going to be my next point. Like, that's where Clinton should get hammered a little bit. Like, now with the contract, I don't know if there was any takers for Carlos, but Carlos should have been dangled at the trade deadline. Especially,
we don't know that he was.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I can't.
I've always been on that,
unequivocally
yes.
say that. No, but I mean, he should have been dangled to an American League team. Somebody, the Indians, for God's sake, they had him. They just signed Donaldson. He's got like half a foot. I mean,
they want to take him
back.
He's a
former MVP, but they would have took him back, and maybe you could have got a guy like Clevenger. I'm not, standing up for him, but he's pretty good in the AL. I mean, there's an other arm you need, or something, where you could have dug down deep.
Or even just to get out of him.
Yeah.
Like the old Tomey thing and Adam Eaton. Just go ahead. I'll pay him. I'll pay him. You go.
Yeah, you did it with Hamels. I mean, granted, you got a big.
Because to your point, like I said, if you want
to,
and then that frees up not only for Hoskins to move back in, but then if you do keep a guy like Ramos, he can. I don't know if he can play over there, but when you get catching bangs you up a little bit. So that's what Jorge's. Eventually, you want him. That's what you want him to.
Yeah.
You expect him to be a good defensive player. Hopefully, if he grows into it, And if you're going to give Ramos a day off, maybe he plays first. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with that.
You see that a lot. Yachty goes over there, so I don't know if he can do that, but
gives
you some options.
But
not when you got 4 guys over there, one being your cornerstone. That belongs there.
But the other thing, before JP got hurt, right? I mean, before JP got hurt, we know the prize prospect he was, right? Okay, deserving or not, right? We know where he was ranked organizationally, okay? But you in your head kept running Scott Kingery out the shortstop instead of a guy who was your number 1 prospect in your organization. Makes sense? Now, that had nothing to do with the injury, but JP's another guy where never got his shake. Right, you're a young kid. You're up at the big league. You're up at the ball. You're up with the big club, and you're not ran out there every day. They get over the hurdles. They get over some of the humps that are the learning curve of playing big league baseball. And it was out here a day, and we'll sit you, and then you'll play third.
Is he good enough defensively to?
I don't know.
I know.
I don't know. That's the problem.
I'm not hanging you. I'm saying, is he though?
No, but I'm hanging. I'm hanging because I don't know.
Those young guys that came up in other organizations, obviously they're offensive stars, but they're plus defenders.
Absolutely.
Before Lindor took the step to be an absolute fucking pimp, he's a plus defender.
No, he is.
I mean, I'm saying he started out hitting 8 or 9
That's when he
came up.
Yeah.
He came up at 8, 9, and anything he gave him was gravy. And all of a sudden, then he became this offensive, whiz. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, I don't know. Like you said, the sample size isn't there enough. But, is JT good enough defensively to warrant that, to say, hey, you go out there, you save us some runs, a la Brandon Crawford, who, once again, sort of reminds me of like a Yachty. You know, two guys who were just absolute filthy defenders that turned into good hitters. You know, as their career got older.
Yeah.
So, you know, so you hope he could be one of those guys. But is he that kind of defender where it will be a game changer on defense? You know,
And it would have been nice to
like a Ray Ordonez.
It would have been nice for him to stay
what I mean?
healthy,
Oh, more of a scale.
Yeah,
so we could find out because he's still a baby.
But that's the other part.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
He
a
also
21-year-old
hasn't-
kid.
He
so-
also
didn't
hasn't
help
done
either.
his job
Yeah.
by staying healthy,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
and they didn't do their job by giving him a fair shake to be able to be the everyday guy, too. So it was both. It was a combo. Now, next year, a fully healthy J.B. Crawford, if he has a good spring, my problem is, are you so stuck on Scott Kingery at shortstop that you're not willing to say,
Nah.
okay,
No,
let
man,
me.
I don't think
Machado's
so.
there.
I don't think so.
What?
Manny Machado's.
No, absolutely. And then JP go away, you know. But, you know, why
Like, I'm
was
not going into next year.
No.
Like, if
Like,
I'm
I
the
know
Phillies,
he's
I'm
hurt,
not going into next
but
year.
why is he not dangled in
thinking
that deal?
Scott Kingery, J.P. Crawford.
But why is he not dangled in that deal?
He might have been.
The start, why was Crawford not dangled in that deal? Granted, he's hurt, but
He might have been.
I'm just saying. I mean, that would have been a name.
I mean, I think that's a very viable name. I said that too when we were
But
talking.
maybe he's not. Maybe to the Orioles, he's not high enough to get the deal done. You know what I mean?
That's
Could
right.
be
I
that too.
thought-
They've seen
Takes two
enough.
to tango.
they
Seen
needed.
enough.
I thought one of those would have had to go
Because like I
for
said,
the Orioles
you gotta-
to bite for
Yeah,
us
and you
because
gotta be
they
able to
probably
do-
wanted someone that could fill in right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And-
And maybe him being hurt.
And like I said, if you're going to get, you know, if you're not going to be a consistent player yet in your career, then it's got to be one-sided, lopsided. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be an absolute freaking gold glover. That's a game changer that they're saying, hey, okay, sit in the 8-hole, you know, hit 205, that's okay.
Whatever you
'cause
give
you're a
us is
game
good.
changer.
Yeah.
You're a game changer on defense. Or you're an absolute pimp with the bat, and you're
We'll
a
deal with
butcher.
it, yeah.
You're a butcher. We'll deal with it for now.
your
You know what I mean?
8 hours a week.
Let me ask you guys one question because Ralph put this out yesterday. I thought it was a really good one because Javi's in town. Javi Machado, both up at the same time, hypothetically. Who you signing?
Machado.
Because I think Javi Baez has turned himself into one of the better
And
players in
I
baseball.
always say that
and
is
can
because
flat out fucking pick it too. By the way,
Machado-
maybe even better. He might be better defensively. He might be. It's close, but I think Baez might be better defensively.
He's way
I think
better
he is,
than
too.
Machado?
Yeah, right. I
Way
mean, am
better.
I not? Am I?
Well, you also got to remember Machado hung his hat at third base.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
coming back to short,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we're all kind of like this year is kind of a transition year defensively.
But that's just, but that's
his
not even a
body's
knock
gotten
on
bigger,
him. That's
too.
just how good Javi Baez is.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I hate the Cubs, and I hate him, and I don't like the things he does. But you know, obviously the year he's having, he does play hard for the most part. He's he's not quite the all all sizzle, no state,
Yeah.
smoke, all smoke, no sizzle.
he
whatever,
does look like he has
whatever
fun out
saying
there,
is,
though,
but he's
which
having
is
fun.
cool, yeah.
But he's a tremendous defender. Yeah,
Why
so
not
that's
both?
no knock on. That's not knocking Manny. That's just
I
saying
mean, he
like,
made
it's
a
not
play.
close.
He
It's
made a
not
play
close.
last night on Roman Quinn. That might have been one of the best defensive plays I've seen.
Has he taken
without
over
the without
everyday
the
shortstop up there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know they were.
Russell's coming back now that the roster's expanded.
Oh, he
but
was hurt.
With
That's right,
Murphy,
yeah.
it's like
Well, wow,
have
yeah.
a seat. No, but I'm saying like they're like here, Addison, have a seat. All right, we're
made-
good right here, bud.
He
You
threw
know what I mean?
Quinn out. He threw Quinn out.
Yeah.
Oh, and the fact that his body, his whole body was going to the right, and obviously how quick he had to be.
Yeah.
And to be able to get what he got on the throw too was
get
just
room,
remarkable.
yeah.
It was fucking
And he
remarkable.
can play all three positions.
Yeah.
Plus at all three positions.
I just
You know,
I
'cause
look at the early career at Baez. Machado has been a pimp from day one.
Oh, yeah, no,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? And it took Javi a little bit to get adjusted.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
Oh, I take Machado all day. If
Because,
you're asking me
though-
who I'm signing, I was just saying to his point. And your point. That's no disrespect to Manny with the glove. It's not even close. Baez is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But as a player, I'm signing Manny all day. You know what I mean? All day, 8
Hell,
times
it's
a
just
week.
money. I signed
You know what I mean?
both.
Yeah, I mean, I mean.
Mo. See, the problem in that comparison I have with Baez is he's too much of a free swinger. As successful of a season as he's having
Yeah,
this
they should
year,
never throw him a strike.
and we'll
Yeah.
get into them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. He still hasn't lost that swing. He has so much swing and misses, high strikeout count. He's having a good, more prolific offensive season this year. But at that cost, I'd rather have Machado, who's a better contact hitter.
Yeah. I mean, he's an absolute mistake killer.
Right.
Baez.
Baez,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? He's a
yeah.
mistake killer.
Yeah.
You roll up.
He's
You
like
fucking,
an old school Vlad Guerrero.
Oh, yeah, you fucking roll up a fucking cement mixer, fucking slider that don't do dick, he'll fucking hammer it, bro. So I mean, he's like I said, you can. But if you,
I love the way he
But if
plays.
you're able to,
Yeah.
if you're able to bounce it in the dirt, you
Just
get
the
him.
one thing. That's
I
the
know,
only thing.
absolutely.
Otherwise, the rest of his game is solid.
Yeah, I love the way he goes about it. It looks like he has it looks like he has
Best tags
fun
in the
out
game.
there.
Best tags in the game.
Yeah, he tags great. He had fun with like the.
He's ruining young kids, though, because he's so quick.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I yelled at one of my kids yesterday. They fielded the ball like 3 feet in front of the bag, and I said, "Yo, Stop watching big league baseball players. We field the ball on the base because it's quicker, right? We're going to get the ball 3 feet in front of the base and then tag. It slows everything up. Stay on the back. Wait for it. You ain't going to get hurt over there.
Yeah.
Take the ball on the back.
Yes.
We're not going to do this.
Plastic,
we ain't doing this.
It's plastic cleats. Relax.
Yeah, calm down. All right? We're the only 10U team sliding cleats up around here. Yeah. All right?
It's not even going to break the skin, dude. Calm down.
Robbie, get to your questions. I know we got started late here. Sorry
Yes,
for the fam. I actually I was just telling the fam on YouTube. I almost forgot you guys were over there. Lucky none of us have really work tomorrow. So it's a win.
Labor Day weekend, baby. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody.
Yeah, fuck Labor Day. Sorry, I don't even know what Labor Day is for.
The working man.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. I grind it.
Labor.
You don't know what that's about.
Absolutely not. There's zero labor in my life, and I hear about it daily. Because my mom will be up here for a month or two, right? And it'll be because I'm walking around. I move and shake when it's social time, right? When I'm not doing baseball.
When it's
stuff.
winning time.
Like when it's social media time. I move and create content or find content and spread it all around, and I'm constantly moving and shaking.
Because you're always on that. You're never on
yeah.
that.
So she'll think I'm not doing that. Can you help me with? I'm working. Like they haven't picked up on the fact that I'm working through a phone. Yeah. And I know it sounds weird. I know the TV might be on, but the kid's grinding. All right.
I might be in the middle of a game of Madden.
Like I'm the only
the
dude.
Kid's grinding.
Listen, I don't lay bricks.
Still playing?
A little bit. I don't.
Rough weekend last week.
I don't. Yeah, tough one, real tough. I tried to get back on the wagon. I've struggled since. I don't lay bricks.
Talk about the mental side.
I don't lay bricks, but I mentally do. I tried saying, name somebody on days where I have a lot of lessons or practice and shit like that, right? Who's going freaking 8 a.m. to the time they go to bed. If it's social and A2D shit, through baseball, back to A2D shit, most people get a break, from their job. You know what I mean? Most people say, 9 to 5, I punch the clock out, I'm done. Right? I go home, I can watch I can watch this, I can watch that. I don't get that life. I'm a fucking 12, 14-hour dog. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I am fucking lame.
Show your wife a piece,
You know what I mean? And that's all I get. That's all I get. I take a lot of heat for this.
No rest for the entrepreneur. You know what I
I
mean?
guess. We'll go with that.
All right,
There's
boys.
pieces thrown.
No, that wasn't a shot at you. I'm talking about the working man.
I'm just telling you.
You said 9 to 5, punch a clock. I said, yeah, and not you.
No, but I'm saying I
Everybody.
do.
Yeah.
Just confirm it.
I wasn't blue pilling you.
I'm going to be 36 in September. I just want to clarify for the people. They see the LeBron hair receding, and they think the kid don't got the
He
the
still wakes
mojo.
up.
I would hope so with all the yeah, he pounced a lot on the road.
Little Tom shows up. He punches a clock.
All right, boys. Let's
Well,
start
Tom worked hard for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a minute.
I was going to say,
All right,
now
20
you're
seconds.
showing off. Now you're showing off. Mini Sweeps is old as fuck. Just dust coming out. Sorry, Rob.
me in with you.
Trying to get back on the rails here.
Why are you apologizing to me? You might be older than me. How do you know?
No, I meant because you were doing the questions.
Oh. What? I'm going to get bad out of shape for getting interrupted? I might as well not be in this room.
That's true.
Probably the wrong room to be in.
Well, hey, it's apropos to start off with a baseball question this week. This was a doozy one. Let me try to fix this so I'm coming through, actually. Hold on. Awful gain here. Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello. All right. I'm just going to fire them off, see if I'm coming through. All right. No one since Mike Trout and Ryan Braun have joined the elusive 30 for 30 club since 2012. Now, Trout, Mookie Betts, the aforementioned Javi Baez, and Trevor Story, and a pair of Indians, Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor, are within striking distance. Who joins and who misses out?
Do we know?
How many steals are we talking about?
Do we know
Homers
the
are
stats?
calm, yeah.
Do we know the stats for each guy?
Yeah, I do have the
Lindor's
stats.
like
There
eight,
we go. Here I
Lindor's
am.
like 8 steals away. He should.
I'll
he
break
should
it down
get
for you.
It's a month. I don't know.
Right now, I started with Trout. He
chance.
has
He don't run enough.
no. He's actually up. He's 31 homers, 21 stolen bases. So he's 9 bags away. But I
lot
respect your
in a month.
opinion.
No.
Yeah, it is. He's a no.
No.
Nah, they shut it down.
Right
I
on.
mean, in 21,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Come on. 21, he can do that in a month if they let him go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
But it's September.
I
What are you
understand.
playing for?
Yeah.
Like, that's from
No,
the Angel standpoint. And
yeah.
Trouty. I love him. He'll go steal bases every time you give him the sign. But
I mean,
from an Angel standpoint, they're like, let's just let the guy hit his doubles and we'll get him there.
Absolutely. Play the game
right. Next up, Mookie Betts, 29 homers, 26 stolen bases.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yes, sir.
Best player in baseball.
Yeah, buddy. I'm with you on that.
No,
and I love Trouty, but Mookie's the best player in baseball.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I'll take Trouty.
I love Mookie.
I don't know.
I'm not saying it's not a 1A, 1B, and a different day, it's a different dog. You know what I mean? I'm in love with a guy who can fucking rake a 350 if he wants. Not that saying Trouty can't, but I don't know. I love it. They're both. I mean, they're really interchangeable in a way. They do a lot of the same stuff, obviously.
Talking 1A and 1B.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, their numbers, home run and stolen bases are right around each other. And Mookie's probably another guy who can steal a ton more bases, too, if he wanted to.
He's got to do it for a little longer.
But Trouty
He's talking to 2 years,
Yeah. Yep. No, the body's semi there. Maybe another year.
Yeah,
another
well,
year,
listen, at some point you got to always pass the torch. You know what I mean? It was Miguel Cabrera for a long time. You know what I mean? And he didn't really bring anything to the table defensively. He didn't run, but he was still the best player in the game for.
That's how good he was.
That's how good he was.
Because he gave you
what I'm
nothing
saying.
on the other side.
And there were 7, 8 years where he was the best player in baseball. You know what I mean? Crazy.
Absolutely. Next up, Javi Baez, 30 homers, 21 stolen bases.
I'm going to say no.
9 steals. How many homers?
He's at 30.
Yeah. I think he Joe Madden likes to run a little bit. They're running Joe Madden. It's still 9 in a month, though. That's a lot of steals. But I'll say yes. Because they'll get close, and then he'll smell it. Somebody will tell him, and it'll start running, a little recklessly.
Right.
You know what I mean? They might have it wrapped up, and they'll just start fucking trying to steal second and third willy-nilly.
You're talking since nobody since 2012, so it's not just like someone did it like 2 years ago or something.
No, I think he'll get there.
When you get close,
Yeah. He seems like a little bit of a me-ish. I mean, like you think if he's close, he's maying it up.
Yeah.
Anybody with the MLB logo.
And the chain tells you all you need to know. You know what I mean? When the chain's out, you know.
Turnover chain?
He's a me-ish.
Trevor Story, 26 and 22.
I'll say no on Story.
Yeah,
no.
22 steals, though. How about it? No.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see that. I was surprised to see this about Jose Ramirez. I thought one Indian was close, but Ramirez, is right on the doorstep right now. 37 homers, 29 stolen bases.
Oh, yeah. Little fat bastard. 29 steals for that little poor
I'm going to win and say no.
You going to say no?
No, of course we'll say yes.
Hey, maybe.
One steal away.
One of the better players in baseball nobody talks about.
Yeah, really.
You know what I mean?
And then you went out and signed Josh Donaldson to play essentially the same position. Or are they moving Ramirez back to second and Kidness to the outfield?
Kidness is done.
Is he out?
Yeah. Well, he's so banged up, I guess. Yeah, Ramirez definitely not the odd man out, but I know what you're saying. Positionally, yes.
Right.
What's Lindor got?
Lindor is, and that's the key
22, I
question
think.
here. He's 22 stolen bases, 29 homers.
Yes.
I feel like he should have more stolen bases, but yes, I'll go too.
I'll go yeah.
They got such a big lead. They got such a big lead, but I
will win a prop bet if Francisco Lindor goes 30 for 30 this
Let's
year.
fucking go.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
And I threw that poll out in the group.
Lead,
and people were blasting me like, what about his teammate Jose, who's one steal away? And I'm like, I didn't realize he had that many stolen bases like you did.
He's the quietest.
Little bastard.
I said he's the best player in baseball nobody talks about.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's the best player in baseball. It just means nobody talks about him, which makes him.
Chris Davis. Him and Chris Davis you couldn't pick him out of a fucking candy lineup.
40 homers.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, Chris Davis,
4
ace.
straight seasons.
Oh, yeah, he's tough.
Yeah, the other guy should change his name, out of respect for this fucking poor kid.
Well, they are different. One's a K, one's a
Yeah, but he's still sent a cease and desist notice. Like, hey, Sap, dude, when you bet under 200, babe, you got to change the name.
Not going to do it. That guy should receive a knock on the door.
I know you're white and people know the difference, but
you know what I mean?
I'm getting tired of the Google.
Yeah, there's a bar in Baltimore that fucking gives out free shots for every hit Crash Davis got this year.
Wow.
That's how bad it is. You know what I mean? That's
Did you see
I feel bad for Buck. I mean, Buck might hang it up. You might not, Buck might hide out for like fucking 4 months. You might not even hear from him.
50 under.
That's so bad. Now, granted, I get the division you're in, but you're so bad. And even when you had like semi-talented guys, you stunk. Yeah.
And it's not the same.
More losses than the 13.
To me,
White
I don't
Sox?
take anything away from that division. Listen, you got two monsters in that division. It was the monster division it was when you had 4 good teams. You know what I mean? And then the Rays were just still trying to suck at the teeth. You know what I mean? Because they didn't have the payroll, whatever.
Yeah.
So then you had 4.5 really good baseball teams. All right. So then then you're like, okay, then that's the black and blue division. You know what I mean? But to me, it's the NL West this year. You know what I mean? So every year it fluctuates. I know the Red Sox are the best team in baseball, but when you have a 50-game lead on somebody, that division can't get any credit.
Well,
in my eyes, you know what I mean?
right,
The NL West is unbelievable. I mean,
that always
two
reflected
games,
Manny to me to a point. It just it reflected
the AL
how I
West.
thought about him a little bit. That you could be that good of a baseball player, but your team be that bad. And I know it's a huge team sport and everything like that, but it's a semi-reflection of a guy.
For me, it's the both West. It's NL West and AL West for me this year.
Even when the
Angels
Angels
Mariners
stink,
are starting to tail a little bit, but there's 3 teams right there.
even the Angels don't have talent. They're always around like the 500 area. And granted, it may not be a playoff team, but Trouty healthy always just keeps them in not a conversation, but just keeps them afloat. That's probably a better word for it.
Just never had any pitching.
And I would feel like Manny, his ability at the dish, would reflect a little bit better of a baseball team there.
Well, this is probably the first year that they've been an abomination.
That's true.
Buck's he doesn't get past the hump or anything, and he probably gets a little too much credit being the smartest guy in the room in the baseball circles. What I mean? A lot of people jerk him off, maybe unnecessarily. All right, but he's done a good job there. Besides winning it,
People helping
you know what I mean.
people.
But he's kept them in.
People helping people.
Yeah. Hey, I need some help. But you know what I mean? Like that's the first year that they've been a real abomination.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point. Like,
Hey, they have a good shot of passing the White Sox
in
in losses.
Imagine to rise to make your team better. I mean, that's where you expect superstars to do that. But they've been I think they've been in the mix. You know what I mean? They were a fire sale. It was just early. It was one of those years where it was just bad early and it snowballed, and it was like, all right, just get rid of everybody. Adam Jones decided to stay because he didn't like winning.
Yeah, he didn't feel like traveling.
Yeah.
Next one, Robbie.
Sure, let's get back to football, the topic of the main theme of the show. Pick the more surprising NFL cut of the weekend before the opener, Martavis Bryant or Corey Coleman?
Corey Coleman, really. I mean, Martavis Bryant's a crumb. I think we that was well documented last year.
To me, it's Dan Bailey.
I was going to go see Dan Bailey. That's where I was going to go.
Yeah, Rob,
I
thought
almost
he was
threw
good.
Dan Bailey in there, but I figured you wouldn't want to talk about a Cowboys.
Well, I'll tell you why.
No,
Because that was the best
shocked.
kicker in football 2 years
I was
ago.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
We joked. I had an auction draft yesterday, and someone not only paid $2 for a kicker, but it was Dan Bailey. And then I got the Schefter note, and I'm like, Dan Bailey was just cut.
Right?
Crazy.
But
That was a money thing,
that
though.
was
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, the Corey Coleman because you just traded for him, so it's like, so did Buffalo really just, confirm that the dude had no talent?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
so,
Like
yeah.
that's what it comes down to.
First rounder.
I mean, he went in that room like whether it was cameras rolling or not.
Yeah.
He went in that room like he was fucking Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
what are you playing me for?
You're not playing me? Come on. If you're not going to play me, trade me. You know what I mean?
And
you can't
Hugh
even,
Jackson's
you
like,
can't even make
what?
Buffalo's team?
Who
Like,
are
come
you?
on. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean,
I
or
agree.
the other
guys
have no talent.
The other guy's just an absolute
'Cause that's
jerk.
what- that's
the
what
other
tells
guy's
you.
just an absolute asshole. Just don't get it. He thinks he's Josh Gordon without the talent. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be a piece of shit and just fucking do what you want and not be talented. You know what I mean? Like,
We
it
saw
just
last
doesn't
year
work
when
that
Pittsburgh
way,
was winning games and he
Doesn't
wasn't
work
getting
that
the football.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what are you in it for, bro?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So I think it's Corey, which is surprising because, from being a first-round pick, you'd expect him to hang on still at this point of his career. He's young. You know what I mean?
Right.
Paxton Lynch got the cut today too.
But
Well,
why
that's
did they wait
well-deserved.
why did they wait so long for Bailey though? If it was a money thing, like it was never going to change, was it? Or something kick in that I don't know of, or something?
There's a little bit of
If
the
he makes the
injury thing
roster,
that you're paying
does
him.
he get the bonus?
Is the back still an issue?
Yeah, and I think they weren't confident in that, and that you're going to pay this kicker all this money,
Okay.
and then he might miss games. And meanwhile, the kid they brought in is hitting 50-yarders
Gotcha.
like a
Yeah,
sieve,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you're paying him the league minimum.
Yeah.
So-
Because that's
I
how
got
this
you.
league is with kickers.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we saw it with Cody Parkey and Jake Elliott.
Right.
And that was Parkey's job.
yeah,
It was his job.
Yeah.
yeah.
He gets hurt. Boom. Elliott don't miss.
Yeah.
Nice knowing you. Thanks for playing.
See you, Cody.
No, you're right.
Next one, brother.
Absolutely. What does Khalil Mack mean for the Chicago Bears defense?
Way too much money. Listen, a great. A great defensive player. He's not fucking Lawrence Taylor. So let's everybody calm down. I know people want to put in the groups on numbers of the Raiders defense and this, that, and the third, and where the Bears defense was, and now Bears are a top 5 defense in football. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Calm down, dude. Okay, you paid way too much money for a D end. Okay, so that's outside linebacker.
The whole picture was too steep. You know what I mean? Like, once again, money, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I know it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, as long as you don't get hit over the head, cap time or whatever, those guys, once again, it's not our money. Who the fuck cares? You know? But the 2 first-rounders are monsters. Ooh. That's monsters.
I thought Oakland got a great deal back. I know people thought they didn't, and I said, you know what, you don't have to pay this man $140 million.
The other thing, too, is now you're going to ask him to put his hand in the dirt when he hasn't done it ever?
In Chicago?
Yeah.
I
mean, the guy's a linebacker. He was in Buffalo. He was, he was an outside linebacker. He was a 4-3 guy, or he was a
3-4 guy.
3-4 guy
in Oakland. Yeah,
but he's going to a 4-3.
But now you're going to a 4-3, and now it's the old Brandon Graham thing, where we went 3-4, 4-3, and like, what do you do now? Guys stood up his whole career. Now you're going to ask him to put his hand in the dirt, and you're giving him a buttload of monone?
It worked for Grammer. No, not that kind of money in that Steven.
it just doesn't.
I mean, I think he's one of the top defensive players in the league, hands down, as a linebacker. We have to see what he does as a D end.
If they don't use him right, it's a disaster.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm all about the LT effect from my linebacker position, or guys who go after the quarterback. If you're that good, you have like a Von Miller effect, right? Von Miller was that good for the Broncos that year that that whole defense followed suit. He could go get you. Nobody could block him the whole 9, right? Same thing with Khalil Mack. If you're that great defensively, that defense wouldn't be ranked where they were. That defense wouldn't be that bad because that defense was bad last year, and they had talent out there. So if you're that good, you're a game changer. You're the LT effect. You're going to make everybody around you better with a little cocaine. You know what I mean? And to me, that's way too much money for a guy that I don't see consistently impact the football game. That's quarterback money, man. That's not money for a DN/linebacker. Like, that's Mario Williams' money. He never lived up to it. Yeah. Never lived up to it. And he was a damn good football player for his time in Houston. And when he went to Buffalo, he was still a good football player. Never lived up to it as good as a football player he was. And honestly, Mario Williams was unblockable at time. Never lived up to it, though, because you're not going to. He's not going to live up to $141 million. Nope. Because he ain't going to get 15 fucking sacks a year. He's not. That's what you need. If you're gonna get, if I'm paying you 141, you better go get him 15 times, or at least once a game.
It's the Pat Burrell effect. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's why people hated him. Not like he had his haters and he had the lovers. The baseball guys love Pat Burrell and they didn't worry about their extracurriculars because they were like they wanted to be him. This guy's getting laid every night by a different square. I love it. You know what I mean? But he was 30 and 100, and played a good left field. You know what I mean? You'll take that all day. You know what I mean? He was just got too much money. Yeah. In this town, they didn't want it. You know what I mean? And, the people didn't like it. So, even if he's got to be, you're talking like 20 sacks, for that kind of money. If you get 12, you're still a good player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You might get to a Pro Bowl.
Yeah. You mixing some picks in? What are you doing?
Yeah,
like
everything.
Your hands in the ground the whole time. So I don't know if are you gonna get any picks? You're not running around. You're just running straight ahead.
Yeah.
I think Khalil's a real good player. I just think people were quick to crown and like call him a great. He's great, and Von Miller's better. Von Miller's better. So just stop it. He's not even the best DN in football, or outside linebacker in football in a 3-4. He's not. There's a guy in Denver who's better than him. Right? So, I mean, that's where I'm like, whoa, Chicago. Chicago's all in. For what? I don't know, because their quarterback stinks. So I don't know what they're all in for. Because you talk about underachieved, waiting to happen.
It feels like a last piece, like a decision. Where like, all right, well, this guy's just hanging out there. But you figure he was holding them ransom. I guess the Raiders didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, sit out. They're going to franchise tag him anyway.
It's like it'd be like a move like Green Bay would make.
Anyway.
Because you got Rodgers back.
Yeah.
You have the
like
offense
you're one
at
piece
Green
away.
Bay.
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
like, let's get my defense a dog.
Well, he was they were the second team supposedly.
Oh, were they?
You know what I mean? Like it was. Yeah.
But you're right. That's like a last piece type of. Let's give Green Bay defense a dog to go with Mike Daniels in the middle. You know what I mean? And Clay Matthews on the outside. Like let's see what another guy that can go get quarterback did.
Yeah.
And also
go to Chicago.
Exactly.
Go to Chicago with Mitchie Poo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sold.
Too many smart football guys there to make that decision. Like they were in, but once you said 2-1s, that was it. You know what I mean?
Bye.
Puck stopped there.
Yeah, and I'm going to give them $141 million too. No thanks.
Yeah, Chicago was
paid Rodgers.
This is why they did it. They're hungry for that dominant defensive player that Chicago Bears defense has been known for.
They drafted him.
Oh yeah.
Roquan Smith.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
They just
true.
can't get him to camp
True.
because they got some crazy clause in his contract. That's what's holding him up.
Really?
It's like if he gets suspended for an illegal hit, like a helmet-to-helmet, or he gets suspended outside of football operations, he loses his guaranteed money. Like the guy's never been an issue in Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, is an absolute freak of nature athletically, and they can't get him into camp. I mean, I'm sure he's signed now with the season starting this week, or he will. But his holdout was nothing about money. It was about this clause in his contract about how and if he were to get suspended, how he would lose a portion of his signing bonus.
Well, holdout
He ought
guys
to
say a
fire,
lot
he ought
of.
to fire his agent. That's just
Oh,
terrible.
absolutely.
That's terrible wording. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you want to tell me I can't skydive, I can't, I
Right,
can't
yeah.
ride backwards on my Harley, whatever. You know what I mean? Put that in there, but don't tell me I can't get a fucking illegal hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I'm like Poindexter.
because
you fucking kidding me?
they throw that at him every week.
Hey, douchebag, rip that the fuck up, and I'll sign something else. I mean, you fucking kidding me?
Isn't there something to be said though about Khalil Mack before we move on to the next one? Is a guy who holds out for dollars and cents, and you're gonna be the team that ends up giving them the money and signing them. You don't smell a little crumb?
Alpo.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Dirty.
I smell crumb. Like, you got a brand new head coach in town with a lot of excitement.
One
You're
business.
moving to fucking Las Vegas, you
Well,
fucking idiot.
listen, they didn't-
right?
they haven't even
and,
talked.
and you're
He never talked once.
Yeah, 'cause-
since he got the job.
because I feel like Khalil
How did you even
thinks
know
he's
that
bigger
he-
than football.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how did you even know that he had anything to do with it? Like after like a month, like after you initially introduce yourself, hey, how you doing, Coach? Good to see you. Then if you realize, hey, Chucky's pulling all the strings here. It's his fault. I'm not getting paid. Then you shut off communication. You give him the bird. You tell him to go eat a fucking dick.
Right.
Right. But you don't even fucking call him or shake his hand as soon as the signing was there. I mean, were you that much of a Jack Del Rio guy, or like you said, you feel
You're
like
just
you're bigger
yeah.
than the organization?
Yep.
Give him one of these. Fuck you. I don't
Watch. How much? Over under 7. No, over under 8. I'm going fucking under.
Under
It's
8
gotta
I'm
seconds.
going fucking
It's
under.
got to be 7.5 because you need the hook. You
Yeah,
need the hook.
need the hook. I'm going under. Under. He's a big disappointment year one there. That's a fact. One, because you're late getting in.
Yep.
So the whole thing, and then you got to go put your hand in the dirt.
Yeah, yeah.
You're already late to the scheme. You're over, babe. You ain't having to go week one. He might get 6 snaps week one, and he's getting paid how much fucking money?
And where's his motivation? He got paid.
That's it.
So there's no
He looked
more
like he was high as
motivation.
fuck in the NFL on the Instagram picture. I wrote his A2D. This dude looks like he's blazed as fuck.
Monster of the Milky Way bar.
Yeah.
I just named them. All right, let's go.
I don't know why I despise.
Phenomenal comment.
I don't know why I despise the Bears. I think I despise them because of their quarterback.
Yeah,
Poo?
Mitch. Yeah.
Yeah, like once he said my name's Mitchell, not Mitch. Like you're gonna stink for the rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're gonna be fucking terrible. Like somebody should have
That's
punched him.
something you do after like 5 years of just fucking
Yeah.
playing like
40
tremendous.
TDs and
Like,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
8
yeah.
picks.
like
Like,
who
hey,
knew?
listen,
Who knew it was Tyrod?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who knew it's really Tyrod?
Oh, it's
Like,
not Tyrod?
No, it's not Tyrod. But he didn't give a crap. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm gonna go play football.
I'm gonna play football.
That's why that team would be a little surprise-ish. Not because of him. They got some
You
talent.
said it. You said it.
Now this next question is half entertainment value, half I'm looking for legitimate fantasy advice here. What are your expectations for 38-year-old Antonio Gates as he was finally re-signed by the Chargers today due to Hunter Henry's injury? What do you
Oh,
expect
did they
to
really
get
re-sign
out of
him?
Okay,
Yeah,
he'll
just
catch
today.
10 TDs.
Oh, he's a
loaded.
walking 10 TD.
They're
He'll get
fucking
10.
loaded.
I mean, he might catch 10 passes.
And they
But
all
they'll all
be
be
TDs.
TDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're loaded, and Rivers got about 7 kids, and I'm sure, he put it in fucking Antonio if he could.
Yeah, he would.
if he's in a dry spout, he'll put it in.
Well-
They're buddies, man. They're tight, buddy.
They are
We all
tight.
know what Gates can do, but they brought in Virgil Green now. Will he be on the field? Like, are they going to use him sparingly? Like, what's your feeling
I
on
a
this?
A lot of red zone
At
packages,
most,
probably.
yeah, at minimum, he's going to be a red zone guy. So I think he's going to be there,
His value.
where he wants. So he catches the ball. You're not going to put him down when you're in your own 20, 1st and 10. Well, you let Virgil Green do all that blocking.
That's it. I'm picking him up right after the show.
Do it. You know what I mean? You let Virgil do all that stuff, and then when you get
Yes,
to the red zone,
right.
you cross the 50-yard line where now he becomes a matchup
Oh, excellent
issue,
point.
which he's always been.
Yeah.
Now he feeds in.
Virgil Green's always been a blocking tight end. That's his strength.
Yeah.
Now he has developed the pass catching ability, and he'll throw a couple catches there.
Hunter
but
Henry became the red zone target.
Right.
Because Gates was getting long in the tooth, So now he just comes back and reprises his role. You know what I mean?
Nice.
And they got a ton of weapons, so.
Nice. All right, let's wrap this up, boys. again, with the return of Smash, Marry, Kill. This is an epic return for you, Greg, this week. Smash, Marry, Kill. So I'm going to name out 3 women. This week's theme, it's a Kardashian thing. So it's going to be very tough. I'm going to give a sub-lifeline. So I'm going to give 4 women. And obviously the 4 are Kim K, Khloe K, Kourtney K, and Kendall Jenner. So you got to pick one that you want to smash, one you want to marry, and one you want to kill.
Well, I'll just marry Kendall up. I'll get that out of the way.
I'd marry Kourtney.
It's tough with them two, isn't it, though?
Give me one of those fat ass.
Give me one of those
fat asses.
Yeah, Chloe's getting killed.
I'm going to kill
Yeah,
Khloe. I think I'm with you. I'm marrying
Give me one of those fat asses.
I'm marrying Kourtney. And just because you have to,
Yeah,
I'm going to smash Kim.
You have to.
You have to.
And the right way, too.
Give me that fat ass.
It's going to be like that. Little live look. Little live look. It'll be like that. It'll be like that.
And I'll probably kill Kendall because
because if she screws up Ben. If she screws up Ben.
I'm gonna kill Kendall because she's fucking around with Ben, and probably led to Dad's fucking tuck and roll. You know what I mean? Had a big part of fucking Dad fucking cutting his own Franken beans off.
Tuck and roll.
But
Fucking classic. Tuck and roll.
Finkel was Einhorn? Einhorn is Finkel?
But yeah,
that
if
is
you're
the
not,
worst case of hemorrhoids I have ever seen.
You get the plunger.
you gotta kill off. You gotta kill off either Chloe. I mean, if you want to kill off Kendall because of Ben, that's fine. But Chloe's like the easy kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even a thought process.
Like she's just
See
a
you,
mess.
Chloe.
Yeah, she's a mess.
Lamar Odom, Tristan Thompson, goodbye.
Kim smash.
Kim, you get lost in there.
Oh, Kim, you
You
will.
get lost in there, buddy.
Yeah, if you ain't
You
rocking
need a
8
fucking
inches
mining
or
cap.
higher.
Wow.
Yeah,
You need a mining cap with a fucking a fucking double pack of D batteries because that fucking thing. By the time you get in there, it's gonna be out. Fucking first batteries are gone. Holy Christ!
Go deep in the mountains.
Just get swallowed.
Is that an echo?
Yeah.
First time Little Sweeps has ever been an underdog. Fuck! This is not good. This is daunting.
What do you get lost in more, Bruce or Kim? Just because wait for the butt plugs for Bruce. They're coming. They're coming. Its ass will be like out like this big. It would be like bigger than Kim and the whole Kardashian family.
Implants.
Wilson always says it though. You know they ruined one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we said they killed off the first husband. I know he got cancer, but it's because of her. You know what I mean? She's a fucking cancer. She's a pig. I mean, they got all their fame from fucking the OJ trial. That's where it all started. And, you know, granted, they got good-looking girls besides Chloe.
Yeah.
You know, the other 3 are good-looking.
That's OJ's.
Yeah.
You read my mind, baby.
That happened in the Bronco.
That's not my. It's definitely the dipstick minute.
Oh, my God.
The
that
condom doesn't fit. Take it off.
Yep.
You can't quit.
Oh shit. That's it.
Biggest conspiracy there is. That's it.
He just fucking like this right across the room. Fuck it.
She must have came to visit in the fucking prison. Well, like I said, it happened in the Bronco. Shit went down. It was never it was never his boy in the Bronco.
Yeah, AC wasn't driving.
Yeah, it was her.
That Bronco ain't white
He
anymore.
was driving and she was sitting on the lap. All right. Thank you, fam. I know we got.
It's Labor Day.
I know we didn't read off. I know we didn't really read off a lot of YouTube later on the show. We were chatting it up, but we love you.
He's pissed at YouTube, so.
Yeah, I'm pissed at YouTube as well.
Yeah.
You guys suffered because of that.
But Roscoe, your Angels do stink. Sorry, pal.
Yeah, me and Greg will see you Wednesday. Me, Greg, Sweeps, and Willie and Robbie will see you Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday night, breaking down all week 1 action.
Post game.
So that'll be a good freaking time. Now, that's about it, babe.
It's a Sunday night game.
That's
Get
good.
it on in the studio.
I don't know. We'll have it on now. We'll have it on. Hopefully YouTube works well the rest of the week.
Yeah, we'll be back up and running.
Thank you
The tubers.
to Paul Vidal, our new.
You're over here.
Hey, where's my?
Specialized.
Yeah, now I need the paper because he's new. Thank
Bears-
you, Paul Vidal. Dr.
Bears
Paul
Packers
Vidal.
Sunday night.
Ugh.
Sunday night.
Hey,
get to
welcome
see
to prime time.
Specialized physical therapy. Locations: Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton. find them online, specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
Get her done, Doc.
Or on Facebook, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Later, fam. We out. See you this week.
Hey, be safe. Have a safe
Remember,
holiday.
all
Labor
shows
Day, be safe.
leading right up to the game. We got shows all week, leading right up to kickoff. Let's fucking go.
Dogs and burgers. Call an Uber.